Coming to you live from the Salt Palace Convention Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're here back, day 2, USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals. Leo Bonendar here, joined by my colleague, Mr. Nick Stevens. Nick, great to have you back behind the mic again.
I'm so glad to be back here, especially for the primetime session today.
Yeah,
yesterday's session was insane, so I can't wait to see you today.
Did you get to catch up a little bit of the action?
The entire thing.
Oh my goodness, yeah, so great. Some awesome lifting that we saw yesterday. Now for day 2, we got some of our other lifters coming in, our 67-kilo women, our 60-kilo women, our 75-kilo men. Got some big storylines coming in. And speaking of those 75-kilo lifters, I was actually able to catch up earlier with Mark Frezzell in the day, and he had some fun and interesting things to say here. Let's check it out. And we're here, folks, with the 757 product, Mark Frezzell. Mark Frezzell, 75-kilo lifter. Mark, good to have you back here at Raw Nationals. I know this isn't your first time here, is it?
No, it's great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mark, as I understand, you have quite a diverse background. It's not just one thing. You weren't just a lifter kind of coming up. You also did a little bit of track and football, but then you ended up finding yourself in the Marine Corps. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I played football and track for a very short time in college, and then after that, I transitioned and joined the Marine Corps, and that's ended up where I ended up being for a long time.
Right. So, I mean, when it comes to the Marine Corps and then that kind of segue into powerlifting, I mean, how did that kind of come about?
Well, I've always tried to be more athletically involved, and so I've always worked out at the gym. All my friends in the Marine Corps, we worked out together. And once I got out, I realized that I could just keep this going. And then I met people at the gym that thought that powerlifting would be the best avenue for me.
So for you, as well as just kind of like, I know kind of getting that background a little bit, sometimes people come in a little bit as like a bodybuilder, or they try out like a max out day, and then your friends kind of just tell you, it's like, wow, Mark, you're actually like pretty freaky strong. Like, how did that happen for you? Was that just a random, like a test day, or did you just sign up for a meet kind of thing? How did you get into it to start?
Well, to start, I was just working out, and I had gotten compliments before, and then I met my coach Kai Rosbeck at the time, and he got me into trying out powerlifting.
Taking things back to powerlifting then here, Raw Nationals it's the pinnacle of USA powerlifting. You know, it's the biggest meet that we put on all year. This isn't your first one. I know we've seen you do other Raw Nationals. We've seen you do Arnold's. We've seen you do Virginia Pros. What does this 2024 iteration mean to you?
It means a lot. It's my 4th time. I'm looking forward to competing for one of the top spots and just going out there and showing all the work me and Steve have been putting in.
Yeah, and you mentioned your coach, Steve Denovi, and I know that this was a transition for you in working with a new coach this past year. How has it been? How has training been trending? And is there any one particular lift that you're excited to do today?
Yeah, mostly the squat and deadlifts, but with Steve, it's been progressing nicely. He's very receptive. He knows how to make sure that I'm eating right, doing the right things, making sure that I'm not getting hurt in anything that I'm doing, and just a good overall coach.
And I know that's interesting that you mentioned making sure that you're healthy and everything. Has that been the case this past year? Because I know in powerlifting it's somewhat inherent that you're going to deal with nagging injuries, little kind of things here and there. How was that training year this past year? Was it generally healthy?
Yeah, there's the little like bumps and sores and everything, but there wasn't any like major injuries during this training.
Absolutely. So, Mark, I think that, speaking for everyone here, very excited to see what you do this year, and we'll be pulling for you on the podium there.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you. So that was really great to talk to Mark Frezzell earlier. We learned a lot about him. Actually, a Pittsburgh guy, you know, a big Steeler fan, big Penguins fan, but also Marine Corps vet. I mean, getting to talk a little bit to some of these lifters, just walking around the venue and talking to some of the lifters that showed up in the Pro Athlete Lounge, it puts like a lot of context into who the person is who's going onto the platform. And getting to talk to Mark actually was really nice, because he's also based out of Virginia, and getting to see some of these lifters that you kind of see sometimes at local meets, and they're dominating,
right,
and they're just like, oh, that's the guy who's going to go to nationals. And when he's finally here, you get a chance to get to know him a little bit more, and it's really cool because you get to know the human. And I think that
Right.
it's really exciting now to kind of actually get to know the story a little bit more. And him going into this one with a new coach like Steve Denovi, the great Steve Denovi, right? PR's Performance.
The
And
Oracle.
The Oracle, of course, yeah. So I think for Mark, it's added a little bit more, I think, for some folks at home to root for him. So we'll certainly be pulling for him here behind the mic. Looking now at our warm-up room footage, shout out to our Barbell Productions team. You can see our athletes starting to warm up. Nick, you're a great coach in your own right. So anything that you're looking for in the warm-up room in terms of squats?
As we're warming up for the squat, we want to be sure, I mean, one, it's all about confidence under the bar, right? And we want to be sure we build as much momentum within the warm-up room before we get out onto the platform. And we want to be sure our athlete is comfortable, they're able to hit that competition standard. Obviously, you know, they have that good depth, they have a solid walkout, all the sort of things. And not only that, but I'm also kind of looking at other lifters as well on the coaching side. You know, want to be sure, see how their warm-ups are going, see if they're having a rough day, see if that changes any of the competition.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that that's something, too, is kind of seeing the pop out of the hole, too, is when we're talking about the squat. So now let's talk a little bit about now how the athletes got here, Nick, in terms of how the qualifications, I mean, we're talking about Raw Nationals, but this is the prime time session of Raw Nationals. Right. So how did the athletes qualify to get here?
So not only did our athletes have to solidify the qualifying total just to get to Nationals, but in order to get to the prime time session, they had to have met the minimum DOTS requirement. For those of you at home, DOTS is just a coefficient score that matches everybody across weight classes. And for our men, that score had to be 475 DOTS points. For our ladies, 450 points. From there, those remaining spots are filled from, in terms of qualifying total, from first to third, and then so on and so forth.
Absolutely. And as I understand, there are some pro cards on the line, isn't there?
There are, yes. So our first three lifters, our top three lifters, are awarded pro cards per weight class. And then the winner of each of those weight classes gets a nice $500 paycheck at the end of the day.
Hey. Nice little chunk of change there. So actually, we did get a chance to preview a little bit of the storylines going into this one. So let's take a look at that preview now. For him now. Very exciting to see Nosano. He placed fourth last year, just outside of that podium spot, so I know he's going to be looking to hopefully sneak in right there, right behind Peter Huang. Eric Lapointe also has a great pedigree as well. Looking back at his, he actually won the 2022 iteration of Raw Nationals. So I know he'd been dealing with a little bit of an injury this past year. Going to be exciting to see now that he's healthy going into this Raw Nationals, if he can possibly come back and retake his crown. Beyond that, we also have a Marine Corps vet, Mr. Mark Frezzell, based out of the 757 area in Virginia, a staple here at Raw Nationals and on the pro scene. So he was actually placing fourth this past year, looking to hopefully improve upon that this year. And then rounding us out is actually Mr. Anas Anbar, who actually won the 2023 Arnold Pro-Am. So his squat has been going really, really well. Going to be excited to see what he does here today. Let's turn our attention now to the 82.5 kilo category. We have some big names coming into this one tonight. Anthony Bilal is actually coming off of an 817 performance where he was 6 kilos over, and now he's looking to repeat that at the 82.5 kilo category. So it's going to be a little bit of a battle to see if he can actually repeat it or get close to it, or maybe even if he's lucky, surpasses it. Beyond that, we're also looking at Jaden Lowe, who is an equipped national champion, now competing on the raw side. Going to be exciting to see what he does, not in the squat suits or in any of the protective equipment. That is going to be very exciting to see Mr. Jaden Lowe. Seth Dasuki is actually a collegiate national champion in the 82s, now here in the Primetime session. So very cool to see some of our collegiate national champions now on the big stage. Going to be exciting to see Mr. Seth Dasuki and Matthew Young, based out of the West Coast. A big bench press out of Matthew Young, 217.5. Now this was done at a local meet, and as you guys know here at USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals, you never get cheated on the platform, so he will definitely be held to standard here, and we'll see if he can replicate this on the big stage. So taking a look back at the warm-up room here, Nick, some of our lifters are starting to kind of get primed and ready here. It's a little bit less busy than we saw earlier in the generals.
A little bit less chaotic, yeah.
A little bit less chaotic than we saw in the general session. I know you were working, was it today and also yesterday?
Yesterday as well, and then I actually took this morning off, got to do some sightseeing, but I'll be in there all day tomorrow.
Nice.
And then all day on Sunday as well.
And there's a brand name right there, folks. May Angeli Seguil, former champion, 2023 gold medalist here at Raw Nationals, coming to defend her crown. Now, for May, it's going to be a tough road because right on her heels, Christiane Hazard, coached by the great Oracle himself, Mr. Steve Denovi. That one's going to be a battle, I think, quite a bit. I mean, a lot of people are looking at May to possibly she's coming in with the highest total submitted. But Christiane has her squat trending in a great way. I mean, it seems like she's setting an American record squat every time she competes. But who do you have in the 60s?
So for the 60s, I've got May Angeli coming in first. Obviously, she does have that returning championship pedigree.
Yeah. Too, and not to be outdone, also Sophia Fortin. She is a collegiate national champion. She's done really well at the highest level. And you've been to collegiates. It gets crazy there. I mean, we talk about doing high pressure attempts and high pressure lifting. She's done that. She did it at collegiates, and it gets hype there. So being here in prime time, it's a little bit more different. It's a little more isolated. You're not as many people back there in the warm-up room. You know what I mean? Your thoughts start to creep in, so we'll see if that happens. I have my top 3 on the 60s.
Okay.
I'm going to have Christiane right there winning it. I actually think that her squat and her bench press, that subtotal is going to carry her. It'll be enough to kind of keep May and Sophia just out of reach. And following her, I'm going to have May and Sophia just behind, rounding out that second and third in the 60s.
Well, it's going to be a battle for sure. I can't wait to see it. I mean, not to be outdone as well. I mean, we're forgetting Vanessa and Nicole. I mean, we've got big deadlifters in the 60s as well.
Yeah.
And deadlift advantage, everybody knows it.
Yep.
So it's going to be something to look for, especially as we get into the later polls.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let's turn our attention a little bit to the 67. So we talked earlier in that preview about some of the 67 kilo lifters we're going to see. Cassie Carlton coming in, 2-time champion, looking to do a three-peat here at Raw Nationals. She's coached by the great Sean Collins. Talked to Sean a little bit earlier. He's excited. He was like, we're coming into this one strong. I'm feeling really happy about it. I'm hoping that she can set some new records here. Cassie Carlton, she's going to be my number 1, but as I understand, you've done a little bit of research on Janae. Tell me a little bit about Janae Kovacs.
I think my predictions might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm no stranger to hot takes. Janae Kovacs, coming off, again, one of our CNATS winners, coming off of that momentum as well. She has had some insane training numbers. We're talking about a 264-pound bench. We're talking about a 507-pound deadlift. It could happen. And so it's going to be a battle. And Cassie Carlton, if she can execute the pro, she might have it as well.
And also Carmen Hu, we talked about Carmen Hu hitting all of her lifts in the last 3 meets that she's done. So she's coming in here with a head of steam. Going to see her probably fighting for that podium spot. Now, let's take a quick break here. Our friend Gino, the Powerlifting Pirate, doing what he always does and giving those flowers to our referees. Let's take a look at some of these referees that are going to be working the primetime session.
International referee Tyra Gerfers. Give him a round of applause. I had the pleasure of flying to Finland in 2016, where this young lady won the World Championship and brought the gold medal home to the USA. Category 1 international referee Joanne Craig. From Cooper Training Institute, one of our side referees out of Florida, Zach Cooper, Category 2 international referee. From Texas, Category 2 international referee, head chair, chief referee. Big round of applause for Robert Mulliner. She competed this morning or this afternoon. This morning she competed, now she's refereeing. From Ohio, Category 2 international referee, Robin Schell. And ladies and gentlemen, our technical controller, my friend from New Jersey, Carl Gokhan. Oh, Carl got the most claps. And where are these guys from? From the Pit Powerlifting crew, spotting and loading. Give them a round of applause. Report to your positions. We are going to start momentarily. Lifters in the first flight, no more changes. Lifters in the first flight, no more changes to your openers. Well, I hope Neil Young will remember. Flight begins in 2 minutes.
Love seeing that work out of Gino there, Nick. Gino does such a great job of giving recognition to all of the spotters, loaders, volunteers, the referees, all of the admin here. I always love that he does that as a part of every kind of national event. It's really nice. You and I are both referees as well, so kind of understanding that there's more than just lifting going on.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of work going around the platform. So love that he gets to do that, and shout out some of those great referees and spotters and loaders. So let's jump real quick right back into some podium predictions. Our 67.5 kilo men, there's some killers in this one. Nick, tell me about your predictions on the 67.5 kilo men.
Yeah, so I've got Luke McCain coming in at that first spot. I mean, he's decently ahead, about 40 kilos on nominated total.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit of a fight for our following lifters in the 67.5 kilo class. Albert Lee Avelio Gonzalez.
Yeah.
That's a complete toss-up for me.
What are you going to do here? 2 and 3.
I want to say Albert and then Avelio. If Albert has that squat advantage, or Avelio has that squat advantage, Albert has the bench advantage.
Yeah.
It really will come down to pulls, but squat, you can put a little bit more on it.
So I'm probably going to put it as we're looking on screen there at the submitted total. So Albert Lee definitely has that advantage there. So let's see what happens. We're never sure. It is USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals, so we've seen some crazier things happen. So we'll see if Avelio could possibly sneak in, maybe upset somebody if some missed attempts happen. On the 75s, we have Eric Lapointe, we have Peter Huang, we have Justin Osano. Those are going to be in that order. My top 3 is going to be Eric, Peter, Justin. A little bit hot takey there. I know Peter's coming in with a higher total, but I got belief in a reigning national champion in Eric Lapointe. What about yourself?
I feel you on that. I'm gonna put Peter Wong at the top spot there. He is coming off not only a pro card win, but he is coming off of a Rising Tide win as well. So he might have that advantage against Neil, and then Eric Lapointe, Mark Frezzell, Anas Ambar. It's gonna happen.
And the rubber has met the road here, Nick. And who would you rather have start off day 2 prime time than the Hall of Famer herself, Jen Thompson, taking us squat opener.
Easily one of the most decorated lifters.
Oh, yeah. 105 competitions. Let's see the call. There you go. 3 white lights for Miss Jen Thompson. Tremendous job there by Jen Thompson getting us started here on our day 2 primetime session. Following her, Nicole Marinan. Nicole Marinan actually coached by Brad Couillard, Integrated Strength Systems. Nicole Marinan based out of the Chicago region. One of our Midwest lifters.
I'm excited to see her as we get going through this meet. She's got an insane deadlift.
I really would love to see something close to 4 reds on there. Now, we'll have to see. We don't. I don't want to reveal
we don't want to jump
too
the
much.
gun too yet.
Yeah, but you know, it's Nicole's training has been going very well. 152.5 kilos on the bar there for Nicole. Squat opener. Three white lights for Nicole Marinan. So, Nick, we're watching the squat here, and I think something that is kind of lost, or at least a lost art, is understanding what it means to hit an opener. Now, we've seen kind of the gamut of things the past couple days, is looking at how some people judge their openers. How do you judge an opener when you're coaching somebody?
Whenever I have a lifter in the warm-up room and we're going through that prep, we want to find a number that you could pretty easily hit for a triple. I always tell them on a bad day.
Yeah.
I have a lot of younger lifters, and so knowing that they're going up to the platform and hitting something as easy as this, just like Janae made it look there.
Just like Janae right there. See the call. 3 white lights for Janae.
You're able to put yourself on the board. You're able to solidify a squat. You get the first squat jitters out of the way.
It's important to kind of land the plane early, isn't it, Nick?
Right.
I mean, when we're looking at a squat opener, it's kind of just there's someone had equated it once as to getting that first hit in football. Is you get that first hit out of the way in football, and you're okay. Now we're playing football again, right? In powerlifting, it's okay. I got the first squat in, or we're powerlifting again, right? Like we're ready to go. It's a me. Like we have to get in that mode. It's kind of getting those butterflies out first, and I think it puts an undue, not real pressure, but it gives you a little bit of nerves first on that opener.
Of course.
Otherwise, it's like, look, it should be something that absolutely, like you said, almost something you'd hit out of bed, right? But now, looking at Vanessa Robinson, she just got a replace command there. Could be that she didn't have her knees locked. Now she's on time. She did get the squat command in time. See the call. Okay, 2-1. I see a blue card infraction there, Nick. And that blue card could be a number of things, and it possibly, at least from what I was seeing, could go back to that soft knee.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, right. And you can kind of see a little bit, and sometimes it is inherent with some of those stiff knee sleeves, don't you think?
It really is. I mean, you're already kind of constricted when you wear knee sleeves, and especially when you wear the super stiffer ones, and they're contouring your legs to the shape of the sleeve. It's a lot harder for the referees to be able to perceive that the knees are fully locked at the start.
Absolutely. Here comes May Angeles Seguil, coming in with the highest dots across nationals this year, 160 kilos on the bar squat opener. It's actually the highest dots of any weight class in all of 2024, period. 3 white lights. Of course she did.
You can tell she's been here before.
Yeah.
And you can tell that she's here to make a statement. I mean, she has a decent amount of competition coming up, especially looking at Solana Lewis here, our own colleague ourselves.
Overlay right there, isn't that, Nick? My goodness, our own colleague Solana Lewis coming out. Love that overlay by our Barbell Productions team. Solana Lewis, as you guys have been watching in not just this Nationals, but really any Nationals, any Arnold, Virginia Pro, whatever it is, Solana Lewis has been there. She's a brand name in powerlifting. She's coming out here opening 162.5 kilos on the bar. Okay.
Very well represented in the A7 full meet kit. Shout out to our presenting sponsor, A7.
3 white lights, very aesthetic meet kit. Stopped by the booth earlier today, actually, just to measure out some new wrist wraps I'll be ordering. Really, really awesome stuff there by A7 International, one of our title sponsors here at USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals. Here comes Colleen Donahue, 172.5 kilos on the bar here for Colleen. We are starting to get near that 3 red territory, Nick. It's happening.
That's right. And for Colleen, this is going to be a little bit of a redemption opener here. Her last Nationals back in 2019. So she is coming back from a little bit of a hiatus. Let's see if she's able to make a statement and put on a show for the 67.5s, really so that she is that national material.
That's such a testament to Colleen's, stick-to-itiveness, because the water has gotten so deep to qualify for Nationals just in that time, and more specifically, to make it to Primetime, 5 years removed. Let's see the fight. See the call here. 3 white lights, Colleen Donahue. Okay.
Interesting run there.
Yeah.
Interesting run there. So like I was saying, you want, for an opener, ideally you want something easy, something to get on the board and start strong. Yeah. That was a little bit tougher. That was a little bit tougher. It'd be interesting to see where she goes from here in terms of attempt selection.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, kind of as you mentioned, is that opener needs to move a little snappy, right? Some people say RP6, RP5. It looked like a little bit of a fight there, so we'll see what her coach at Bia Babu does there. Here comes Sophia Fortin, breathing fire here, the collegiate national champion. 175, and if you blink, you miss this one. Let's see the call. Okay, 2-1. Depth call on that one on the left side, it looks like, referee. And sometimes that can happen, Nick. You're a referee as well. Sometimes if a lifter kind of comes out there and squats super fast, sometimes you're not fully sure if they hit that depth unless it's really obvious.
Exactly. And that just goes to the individuality of the different lifters that we see here. And going here to one of the best squatters that we've probably ever seen in ladies USA powerlifting, Christiane Hazard.
177.5. Oh my goodness. Christiane Hazard, let's see the call here. 3 white lights. Now, for Christiane, she is going to be the one, again, to watch, especially on squat. She's got a massive squat on her. So for her, that subtotal watch is going to be big because she's going to leave some kilos on the platform a bit to May Angelee and some of the other lifters in her class. But she's known for setting American records, so we'll be excited to see what she does here. Here comes Carmen Hu.
Carmen Hu, another one of our athletes with the A7 meet kit. Again, another stranger to the national stage as well.
177.5 on the bar here for Carmen Hu. All right, let's see the call on this one.
2 to 1.
2 to 1.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see a red square, red X, and then a red box underneath that. That's going to indicate depth or lack thereof. And so for those of you at home, depth means you have to get that hip crease below that top surface of the knee, and that has to be visible to at least 2 to 3 of our judges. Depth is an interesting thing to come back from, especially on a missed opener. So be interesting to see how Carmen does going for that second attempt.
Here comes Evie Yambez, 180 kilos on the bar. Squat opener here for Evie. $180 on the bar for her opener. Taking her time. I actually don't see the clock running on this one, interestingly enough, Nick.
I wonder if that might be a little bit of a delay with LiftingCast there.
Could be. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes you forget to hit it. 3 white lights. Sometimes you forget to hit the clock button. Hey, we've all been there. Here comes Cassie.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Here comes Cass Lifts, folks. Cassandra Carlton, Cassie Carlton. She is the 2-time national champion, coming back for that 3-peat. Brand name in USA powerlifting. 185 kilos on the bar for Cassandra Carlton.
Product of Texas high school powerlifting.
Man, they're built different out there, aren't they, buddy? Oof.
The squats are definitely bigger in Texas.
Oh, my goodness.
3 white lights there.
Oh, wow. Okay, well.
What a run of openers that was.
I know. Now, taking a look at that, actually, we only saw 1 missed lift. That was just Miss Carmen Hu. Now we're moving on to the Hall of Famer, Jen Thompson. Her of a massive bench press, but not, you know, she does still have some good squats and some good deadlifts in there. Not just a bench specialist. She has won meets all across the board, and you don't just do that off of a bench press. So
she has over 40 national titles.
That's right.
I think she hit her 40th at this previous bench national championship.
That's right. 155 on the bar squat, second attempt for Jen Thompson. Jen Thompson, I was actually able to see a YouTube video of her training gym at home. She has more titles than she has weights in there. It's insane.
Yes, it takes up at least 2 walls.
See the call. 3 white lights. And would you expect anything less for 105 competitions? That's crazy. 105.
Over, I believe, almost 30 years of powerlifting.
That's right. Insane career for Jen Thompson.
And no sign of stopping anytime soon.
Not at all. Not at all. It truly is the fountain of youth, powerlifting. Here comes Nicole Marinin, the Midwest lifter, 162.5 kilos. Always love to see a little bit of acknowledgement to those spotters and loaders.
Oh, absolutely.
Your squats.
The meet happens because of the spotters. The timing of the meets, the safety of the lifters, proper loading, all comes down to the spotters.
They are the lifeblood of powerlifting meets, truly. Now let's see the integrated strength athlete lifter. See the call. 3 white lights for Nicole Marinin.
Very masterful play calling there, but who else would you expect it from than Brad Couillard?
Of course, Brad Couillard. Crab cake enthusiast. Here comes Vanessa Robinson. 165 on the bar here for Vanessa. Now she is coming off a really big deadlift, so going to be excited to see what she does when we get to deadlift. And for now, she's actually only been competing 3 years ago, so.
Very young training age comparative to the rest of our competitors today.
Absolutely. Absolutely, for Vanessa Robinson. 165 squat second attempt.
Vanessa Robinson finishes that attempt there. It is going to be 2-1, no lift.
Oh,
one red
goodness.
card on one side, a blue card on the other.
Yeah.
So we
Let's
know the
take a
red
look at
card
the
is depth
replay.
here.
Okay, I saw it. Yeah. And
So-
you can kind of see that oscillation in that left knee, and that's where she gets a call.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a depth call on the other side. That's what we call a Technicolor lift, isn't it, Nick?
And you don't always want to see that.
You definitely
It does make the rest of the day just a little bit tougher.
Yeah. He's like, what did I do wrong? Well, you did multiple things wrong apparently, but it's trying to kind of focus in and get the feedback immediately, and then
Right.
try to fix that on the next one. Here comes May Angeli Seguil. She smoked that opener at 160, 167 up now on her second attempts. Sinking this one. Let's see the call. 3 white lights there for May Angeli.
So far, so good for the returning champ.
That's right, Nick. I mean, she does have the name. She does have the title behind her. So, I mean, making sure she doesn't, no one forgets her. So here comes Janae Kovacs, 175 on the bar.
Janae Kovacs, my top pick here for the 67.5 kilo weight class, currently ranked first in the division overall, does have a tied total with Cassie Carlton on nominated total, so we'll see how she furthers that going into the second attempt squat here.
Yeah, collegiate national champ. This is a big jump here, Nick, as well. 157 to 175. A little bit of a wide stance there. A little bit of a hiccup out of the hole. Let's see the call. 3 white lights for Janae. She likes it. See that replay. So you can see out of the hole a little bit and then gets through that sticking point. So
Kind of shifted to the left there just a little bit.
Just a hair now. You're going to expect a little bit more of a fight out of that sticking point on the third. And
Right.
I don't know if she's going to take that big jump again. We'll see what she does on the next one. Solana Lewis taking a 12.5 kilo jump to 175. She's got 3 biscuits on the bar here.
Known
Working
for
with a new
taking
coach.
larger jumps.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What I was saying, she's working with a new coach now. She is with David Wilson, and says training has been going really well. So, just trying to make sure she hits all 3 of her squats because she's very confident in her bench and deadlift today. See it? Oh, a little bit of a fight. Okay, so Nick, what did you see there?
I think it could be any number of things there. It looked just like a little bit of a misgroove there. It also looked like she got just a little bit too low on the depth there. So on her first attempt, she was perfectly fine on depth there. I don't think she got a depth call.
So here comes Carmen Hu. Now, she was the only lifter who didn't register a successful squat in our first flight. So a little bit of pressure going into this one, Nick, trying to hit that opener.
And this one was on depth as well.
This was on depth. Yeah, it was on both sides. So that was a 2 red light lift. She's coming back, facing a little bit of a deficit. Sometimes it can get in your head a little bit, can it, Nick?
It can, and that goes to not only the fortitude of these athletes, but the resilience as they get through the rest of these squats. Carmen, who absolutely sunk that one, though.
See the call. 3 white lights.
Carmen is on the board there. Look at that. Great depth there. Able to get past that hip crease point.
Now, she definitely does toe the line, though, wouldn't you say, Nick?
She does, and some lifters do lean into that a little bit more. Oftentimes, due to lifter physiology, doesn't always lend to going fully to depth. Sometimes you can only go to that point.
So now we're turning our attention over to Colleen Donahue, taking a 5 kilo jump to 177.5. So we did mention earlier for Colleen, a little bit of a fight for an opener, right? I mean, not something that we typically saw, especially not so far across the flight. So hopefully this second move's a little bit quicker, get some confidence going into that third attempt.
And then one thing to mention here about Colleen Donahue, I did mention she has about a 5-year hiatus from the national stage.
And that can make a difference. A little bit of a fight. See the call on this one, Nick. 2 red lights.
Yep.
That was tough, and I honestly, I would agree on that one as well.
I would have to, and that, like you were saying, towing the line there. Carmen, who just got below that point. Colleen just above that point.
A little more than that. Just a little
above
bit.
that point.
Yeah. And it was close enough to where it was 50-50, but the thing is at a certain point, 50-50 won't really do it. On your first attempt, sometimes you're like, oh, I think they got it, but on the second attempt is like, look, you really need to make it convincing because otherwise it's going to start to work against you.
Right.
Here comes Sophia Fortin. Sophia Fortin actually, she's squatting more than any of the 67s in a 60 kilo class. So that is insane. 185 on the bar for a 60 kilo lifter. That's just under the record. Oh my goodness. Nick, let me see the call real quick.
If I can make a prediction,
please do.
I think she's got another record.
I think she's got a record.
She might have it in the tank there.
A 60 kilo lifter? Wow. She's out squatting the 67s right now. Minus Evie. So Evie coming in 187.
Evie Yambes, a little bit of a chip on her shoulder as well. Her last meet going 3 for 9. So obviously doing pretty well thus far, getting that squat opener. We're going to see if she can continue the momentum going into this 413-pound second attempt.
Evie Yambes. Now, Evie was taking her time initially, and I think she actually got lucky in that she didn't have to worry about the clock last time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the clock is going this time, and it is running. Got the squat command in time. All right. A little bit of that knee valgus. Let's see the call. Okay, 2 red lights.
Interesting, and both of those were on depth as well.
Yeah, all right. If we can get that replay, see if we can take a look. Oh, tough. It might be tough to see depth on this one.
From that angle, it does look just a tad high, and when you have a closer stance squat like that, you almost have to get a little bit deeper than you think you should.
I mean, the thing is you're depending on that ankle dorsiflexion, allowing those knees to travel as far forward as possible without the aid of any sort of a heeled shoe. Here comes Christiane Hazard, American record holder on the squat 3 times over. She has set and broken it 3 times over, looking to do the same thing. Oh! Christiane Hazard, a little bit of a misgroove there. What'd you see, Nick?
I would say that was more misgroove than anything. It looked like she came out of the hole just a little bit too forcefully. Yeah. We saw the hips come up just a hair, and when the hips come up, the bar rolls very hard to recover.
It really is. You kind of get into that kyphotic position. Your shoulders start to round forward, and unfortunately, it kind of spells disaster at that point. So
with Christiane Hazard missing that second attempt, that shakes things up quite a bit in the 60 kilo class.
That opens up the door. We'll see what Steve and Christiane come up with here. Now here comes reigning national champion Cassie Carlton, 195 on the bar here for Cass. 10 kilo jump for her, 67 kilo class champion. This is closing in on the record, depending on how this moves. All right, Nick,
very
let's
well.
See it. Let's see the call, though. 3 white lights. I like it, Nick. Can she do it?
We're gonna have to see.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to see. This is what makes powerlifting fun, though. It's the unpredictability, the volatility of these lifters and the attempt selections, but. We've got probably one of the biggest attempts thus far in Jen Thompson, making another crack at a world record attempt squat here for the Masters 2 67.5 kilo class, 160 kilos, 352 pounds.
Always rooting for Jen Thompson. She's a staple of USA powerlifting.
State chair of my home state as well.
Gotta love the Carolinas. My heart is always in the Carolinas, as you know, Nick. Okay, bit of a fight here. She likes it. Okay, see the call.
2 to
1. Lights. We got it, Jen Thompson. Gino likes it. Jen likes it.
That was arguably one of her better squats.
I love the reaction towards the top, knowing like it's just hip extension at this point. We got it. Been at this. Been at this, folks. Nicole Marinin, 167.5, 5-kilo jump here for Nicole. And Nicole, again, when you have a big deadlift, when you have deadlift advantage, we've mentioned this before, it's just about going 3 for 3 on your bench and on your deadlift and on your squats.
It really is.
Those subtotals.
And we've got some heavy hitters in the deadlift in the 60-kilo class, so execution, like you said, matters that much more.
Nikki Breadlifts on Instagram. Come on, Nicole. All right. See the call on it? Give me that 3 white lights. Nicole Marinin. Brad Couliard likes it.
Clean across the board. Looked decently easy enough to have saved a good amount of energy going into bench and deadlifts.
I think so. And that is going to be critical, too, is sometimes people don't think about how disproportionately fatiguing squat and bench is going into that deadlift, especially when you're more of a deadlift specialist. So great for Nicole being able to hit all 3 of her squats. Now we're waiting on Vanessa Robinson. The bar has been loaded. Here she comes, 170 kilos on the bar for her 3rd attempt.
And now she did miss that 2nd attempt, still elected to go up 5 kilos, which oftentimes is a very bold move. You know, the safe play is to retake that weight, but this is prime time. This is Raw Nationals. This is where you take those shots. This is where you build on the total, even after those missed attempts, because all it takes is a slip up and some kilos lost and the difference between 1st and 2nd and 3rd.
All right. Pulling for Vanessa on this one. Oh, goodness. Now, you know, Nick, is, again, sometimes it's not going so great on any particular discipline. What do you do as a coach when you know it's not a great day, but you're heading into bench press?
We've got to scrap whatever kilos we have left.
Yeah.
You know, and what I tell my lifters, especially going into bench and deadlifts, you want to have a short memory, especially if the lifts before it didn't go as well, right? Bench is a completely different monster, as is deadlift. You have 6 more attempts to be able to add those pounds back to the total. Let's focus, lock in, and see what we can do for the bench and deads. May Angeli coming up for her 3rd attempt here.
$172 on the bar here for May. All right. See the call. 3 white lights for May. She is on to bench press for our reigning national champion.
Putting herself in a very, very good position there.
She sinks that one, Nick. Great shot by our Barbell Productions team. Now, Nick, if you guys are following along at home, our LiftingCast is going to show you this is a huge battle. 67-kilo lifters, they are all jockeying for position for squat gold, setting themselves up for a big battle on bench and deadlift. Best way to do it, hit your 3rd attempt squat here.
We're hoping we can get it with Solana Lewis.
So for Solana, she's got to hit this one. 175, looks like she's going to get it. Let's see the call. Waiting on it.
Come on, LiftingCast.
Her coach, Dave Wilson, waiting on the call.
Lift
Good
is good
lift.
according to the referees.
Okay, all right. Sometimes you get a little bit of a delay there, Nick. So she is still in the meet there, 175 on the bar. Now, we are seeing some movement down on the LiftingCast. I'm seeing some big numbers here, Nick. This is going to be a big battle towards the end for podium spots on squat, but then also leading into that subtotal for bench press. Nick, we're
Absolutely,
in for
especially
some big action.
That's right. I mean, we've got Janae Kovacs coming up here soon. Evie Yambez. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight the whole way.
177.5. She's retaking this one again, as my colleague Nick had noted. Been off the platform for a little bit for Colleen, so sometimes you got to kind of shake the cobwebs off, you know, kind of feel what it looks like. The bright lights, all the cameras around. It's high pressure. You know, after a layoff, it can be tough. I know the production value has definitely changed in just those 5 years. So for Colleen, can be a little bit of an adjustment. So 177 retaking that second attempt. She missed on depth.
That's right. And from what I understand about Colleen, that injury.
Oh, there's a fight. Oh, man.
There was a big injury she endured in that hiatus,
Okay.
and I wonder if that had anything to do with the squat performance today.
Could be. And that's unfortunate for Colleen. It looked like she was just about to get out of that sticking point, too. Gosh, that breaks her heart. Hopefully she's okay here moving into the bench press. Now, for everyone following at home, we are going to see some huge squats now. Janae Kovacs, 185. Every squat from here on out, they're all going to be 185 plus, and we are nowhere near the end. So Janae Kovacs, 185 squat third attempt for our collegiate national champion.
Looking to just edge out Christiane Hazard on subtotal here, but as we know, Christiane Hazard, squat specialist.
Oh, Nick!
Can she find
No, can
her
she
way?
get out of it? Oh. What do you think about the catch on the spot?
I think that was a good catch.
Okay.
From that perspective, I would imagine the referee probably gave the re-rack
replace,
command there.
yeah.
She hit a pretty hard stopping point there.
Yeah.
And even further, that's going to shake some things up, especially as we have Cassie Carlton coming in later on in the flight.
That's right. Now Evie Yambez waiting to get that bars loaded call.
She's gonna
So
retake
Evie Yambez,
that.
187.5, retaking the one that she missed last time. That was on, if I'm not mistaken, hers was.
It was depth.
It was
2
depth
to
as
1,
well.
or 2 to 1 on both of our side judges
Yeah.
here. So if she can sink it, she's still in the game here.
Yeah, Evie Yambez taking her time, getting set up, making sure she's got a good stack. Evie Yambez. All right.
That's there.
Let's see the call on this one. Good lift. All right, it's good lift. All right,
All
good
right, there
lift.
we go.
3 white
Three white
lights.
lights.
Just a little bit of a delay. Hey, that's what live TV is there, Nick. So Carmen Hu coming out here, 187.5 kilos as well on the bar for Carmen Hu. Carmen, unfortunately, after missing that opener, fun fact, that was her first missed lift in 27 lifts.
That's right. She had only missed across her entire lifting career 5.
Wow.
Ever. You want to talk about someone who doesn't miss? That's
that was
Carmen
a
Hu.
shooting star right there. So 187.5 on the bar here for Carmen Hu. Based out of Indiana. All right, a little bit of a fight. See the call.
It's going to be 2 to 1 from the sides as well.
I feel like you have to contest this one. What do you think, Nick?
I would, only because it doesn't cost anything and it can't hurt.
As well. Now, not to be outdone here, guys, that's not an error on LiftingCast. That's a chip. 188.5 by Miss Christiane Hazard. We expected this, by the way, at this point. She's done this 3 times in a row. She's coming for her own record. She's going to chip her own record. 188.5. She just missed the last one. She's going up a full kilo. Trying to break her own record, 188.5. Christiane Hazard. Let's see it. Talk to me nice. Let's see the call.
Can we expect from Christiane Hazard?
3 white lights. Come on now. New world record there for Christiane Hazard.
Excellent, excellent call there from the Oracle, Steve Denovi, and excellent confidence there from Christiane Hazard, getting on that extra kilo, locking in on the technique, able to fight through that misgroove.
Easier said than done right now.
I know.
Again, the action continues here. Nick, 193. And again, that is not an issue with our overlay. That is a 60-kilo lifter looking to destroy the 60-kilo squat record.
Squatting more than the majority of the 67.5-kilo class outside of Cassie Carlton.
This is a 5-kilo record attempt, breaking the 188-kilo squat set by Christiane Hazard. Oh, tough. Out of the hole, she looked like she had some fight. Yeah, she really did. It was that sticking point, and let's see that replay a little bit. She's aggressive, and then out of the hole you see the pop, and then she gets to the sticking point and just runs out of gas.
That's a good save there by the spotters and loaders.
Would you have possibly just tried to chip that record? In hindsight, obviously. It's easier to say, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Hindsight will always be 20/20 there, but this is prime time.
I know.
You have to take those shots.
You got to. Now here comes Cass Carlton, 201.5. She is going for the 67.5 kilo record.
The angel numbers, 444 pounds. Cassandra Carlton.
My goodness. 201.5. Sincere powerlifting athlete. Two-time national champion, trying to put her name on this one to solidify a third one. Cass Carlton, third attempt squat, 201.5.
Oh my goodness,
Give me this.
ladies and gentlemen.
See the call on this one.
It is
3
hers, ladies
white
and gentlemen.
lights.
A world record taken home to New York.
Cass Carlton, baby. Love it. Wow. What a way to finish out the women's side.
And that's 3 back-to-back world records that were just broken.
Record.
3.
Record. Come on now. You expect anything less from Primetime, Nick?
I don't know that I could, especially from some of the strongest ladies I've ever seen.
Now, seriously. Killers. All killers. Now, speaking of killers, you know them, you love them. Eric Lapointe, a.k.a. Pizza Bloat. Our boy, 232.5 on the bar for Eric Lapointe. Eric was actually coming off of a pretty rough adductor injury, if I'm not mistaken, or a groin injury, just in the past year. So for him, getting back to Primetime here, it's been a blessing in and of itself. So very happy to see one of our Northeast lifters back here, a former national champion himself.
Eric Lapointe as well, another one of those lifters that just loves to be involved with the sport. He's a gym owner, meet director, referee. He does it all.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing too, is you have to give the recognition, give some of the flowers to a lot of our lifters who don't just do the lifting. They do the coaching, they do the refereeing, they do the meet directing. I mean, they do the business of powerlifting, as we like to say. So a huge shout out to our guy, Eric Lapointe. And here comes a Jersey product, the Rising Tide champ, the Open World Cup champ, and looking to be the Primetime Raw Nationals champion.
You forgot USAPL Pro as well.
That's right, USAPL Pro, Peter Huang, 235 on the bar, squat opener. See the call on this one. Quad Strength Systems athlete, 3 white lights for Peter Huang. Now, he was the guy we kind of had highlighted going into this one, Nick, and as advertised on that opener. Here comes Anas on bar. Texas lifter, Texas strong, 237.5 squat opener for Anas. Anas, man, you want to talk about animated? I love
watching Anas.
Do you remember the bench celebration, I believe it was, a couple years back
at
Nationals? Clip that one off because it was one of my favorites.
Again, no stranger to big stages. Anas Ambar coming off an Arnold Pro win as well.
Yep. One of my favorite lifters to watch on the platform. Love his hype. Sincere powerlifting t-shirt. Love that. A little support for our boy, Sean Collins. And Anas been at it for a few years too, so he's a staple. of some of these big meets, Nationals, Arnold's, pro meets. Been doing it. Oh, yeah.
Very clean 237 there.
See the call on this one. 2 white lights. Okay, so I'm seeing a red card infraction, and that red card infraction on squat does tend to imply depth. So here comes our boy. Got to catch up with him earlier today. Had a really lovely discussion with Mark Frezzell, our guy from Virginia, the 757 Virginia Beach area, training out of Iron Asylum Gym, coached under Steve DeNovi. Mark Frezzell, been a staple also at USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals, at the Arnold's, at a lot of these pro meets. Good to see him back and healthy.
A Marine Corps veteran as well. We thank him for not only his service, but I mean, you got to think, to be able to be a professional power lifter as well as a Marine.
2 reds on this one, actually, Nick. So I'm seeing a depth call. Now, we'll have to see if Steve wants to contest that with the jury. Not sure what he's going to do there, but we'll update you if there is a change on that one. But as of now, Mark Frezzell does not get that opener on depth. Here comes Luke McCain, coached by Matthew Holden, Systematic Strength Barbell Union. Luke McCain, now, for those of you at home who don't know who Luke McCain is, you will know after tonight. He is one of the rising stars, only 18 years old. A child, if you will. Luke McCain, 67.5 kilo, 240 kilo squat opener for this young man. Oh, misstep
Good
here.
Good grab there by the spotters and
Good
loaders.
catch.
Oh,
that
my
looks like it's going to be a yellow. Yeah, and it is a yellow card infraction. Unfortunately, Nick, that is an infraction on squat when, unfortunately, somebody pops out of the hole and they shift their feet. So, but sometimes that can happen when you squat as fast and as aggressively as Luke McCain. Looks like he'll probably retake or maybe even jump forward. I wouldn't be surprised if they jump up ahead. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they jumped either.
Yeah. Now here comes Albert Lee, 240 kilo squat opener.
Albert Lee, 240 kilos as an opener, 529 pounds.
Quad Strength Systems meat shirt there for Albert. 3 red lights, and I would agree on that one, Nick.
I have to agree as well. It's and it sets an interesting tone for our openers.
A little bit. The precedent is a little bit. The vibes are low, Nick. We got to bring them up right here. So,
I know.
Justin, help us out. Help us out here. Justin Osano, 245 kilos on the bar, squat opener. We are on a missed lift. You know,
train
3 in
here.
a row. Yeah, right here. We gotta keep it moving now. Justin Osano trying to break it.
It's his 6th Raw National Championship appearance. Last year, 4th place finisher, going 8 for 9. And further attesting to the need to execute these lifts. All it takes is one, and there could be one lifter just waiting in the weights, trying to come up through the door.
You said it there, Nick. Justin Osano. Also well-traveled athlete as well. Oh, my goodness. Justin Osano, let's see the call on this one. All right. 3 white lights there, breaking the streak of missed lifts. Now, you mentioned it there, Nick. We're going to have to see how the rest of them kind of shake out, but it is going to be interesting to see some of these 75-kilo lifters, how they start to battle, because it might just be a battle of, hey, make your lifts.
Right.
That's it. Hit your lifts. It sounds crazy, but it might actually work. Here comes Seth Dasuki, a 2022 collegiate national champ. 255 kilos on the bar for Seth, and he's actually coming in here as a junior. He's not an open lifter.
Been competing since 13 years old, since a teen one, made it all the way now into the junior division.
So he's only been doing this like 5 years. No, just kidding. All right, yeah, so Seth Dasuki, 255.
Being handled there by Carrington Amati, strength by tons. Another primetime lifter, looking forward on day 4. That's a good lift for Seth.
Lights. Nails that one for Seth. Now moving on, Jaden Lowe, 262.5 on the bar here for Jaden.
Coming off some very strong momentum, finishing as champion in 2024 Equipped Collegiate Nationals, representing Blue Mountain Christian College in Mississippi.
Now, it is a bit of a transition, Nick, when you're going from the equipped world into Raw. Now, obviously,
Absolutely.
Clearly, he's done well to be here at Primetime, but that is a technique change across the board, really on squat, bench, and deadlift when it comes to technique. Love that branded singlet right there, though. Very
I love
cool.
it. Blue Mountain Christian, a stalwart college team in USA powerlifting.
All right, let's see the call on this one. 3 white lights. Great job there for Jaden. Lands the plane on that opener. And here comes Matthew Young, 267.5 on the bar here for Matthew Young. Now, the story for Matthew Young, based out of the West Coast, a Warcat lifter, huge bench press.
Absolutely, absolutely. He
Massive
did break,
bench press.
if I'm not mistaken, he did break Sean Noriega's American record bench
Sure
press.
did, 217.5. I mean, stud in the bench press. But this squat ain't nothing to sneeze at either.
I say, and it does start with the squat. If you can set the tone here with squat, get solid attempts and execute going into the bench with a number like that, set yourself up very, very well for the podium.
I mean, 82's opening at 267.5. What are we doing? It's crazy. Something in the water here, Nick.
Something in the Great Salt Lake, you'd say. Matt Young.
See the call on this one. All right, 2 white lights. I'm seeing a death call.
Sean Collins is a busy man back there.
Love those plates right there, by the way, Nick. Have to call it out. Those lovely USA Powerlifting branded TSS plates. Those
And
Texas
collars.
rings. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now here comes Anthony Bilal. Anthony Bilal, so he actually did hit that 817.5 mark recently. Now it was, the context missing there is he was 6 kilos above the 82.5 kilo category. So we'll see if he can replicate that or even, hey, surpass it.
And now in his training, he did have to have a pretty aggressive weight cut. And so it'd be interesting to see how this does translate to the squat here. This is 606 pounds.
Okay, can we also peep the Nikes on the feet?
I was gonna say I'm impressed.
Man of culture. Anthony Bilal, 275 on the bar. Smokes this. Let's see the call here, Nick. 3 white lights.
So clearly that weight cut didn't mean much.
No. What weight cut? Wow. Nails. And, man, you got to call it out, Nick. How pretty is that when you see 5 reds on the bar? It's just the aesthetic, of 5
sure.
reds. You know what I mean? It's just pretty. Here comes Mark Frezzell, opting again, not really surprised. Going up 7.5. A bit of a risk, but it's a calculated risk. They're both very experienced, Steve and Mark themselves, so not too nervous. Mark has done this plenty of times. Steve has done this plenty of times. He's confident in him. 245 on the bar. Squat second attempt for Mark Frezzell. Missed that opener on depth. See the call on this one.
You said it there. All of our lifters that did miss their opener did miss it on depth, not necessarily on
2-1,
strength.
good lift. 2 white lights. No free ads, Steve DeNovi. Here comes Luke McCain. 245 on the bar for Luke McCain. Now, Luke also not crazy that he's going up here. This 18-year-old lifter coming in with the highest submitted total, the highest submitted dots in the 67s. That opener, a little bit of an aberration, I would say, Nick. You saw him kind of get his feet shifted a little bit, and it could have just been out of the hole, just lost a little bit of balance.
And Luke is an explosive lifter. And so very often when you're coming out of the bottom of the squat that quickly, it's very easy to come off balance.
See this 245, how it moves. And a little bit.
A little shaky there.
Yeah, 2 white lights on this one. Now, I see, again, the depth call. They are holding them to standard, as they should here, Nick. But let's see. I want to see something if we can get the replay on that one for Luke. But a little shaky and possibly showing that inexperience a little bit here.
Absolutely. He is our youngest lifter of the day.
So Eric Lapointe now coming, 245 on the bar. Again, going from someone who's a little bit less experienced on that national level to somebody who's very experienced and has done this many times and has won it before previously. 75 kilo former national champion Eric Lapointe, 245 on the bar for
representing
Eric.
Odyssey Barbell Club.
That's right. Puts on some great meets out there, by the way. Right, Eric, let's see the call on that one.
Now, I don't know if you saw it there, Leo, and I wonder if we can
Oh.
check it out on the replay.
2 red lights on there, Nick.
It looked like that unrack he was very, very unsure about. If you look at the
Yeah.
unrack there, let's see it here.
So he's getting a depth call. Let's see.
You see
on
how
the
long
replay.
he settles with that brace.
Yeah.
Looked a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a tough. That one looked 50-50 there. But again, if the context is, you know, if the referees are throwing some reds there, guys, girls, you got to sink them.
That's
You know
the
what I mean?
standard, ladies and
That's the
gents.
standard, and they set it, so you got to follow it. Here comes Peter Huang, 250 squat, second attempt.
What a jump that is, 15 kilos.
Yeah, especially at that amount of weight. Let's see the call for Peter. 3 white lights there for Peter. He likes it, nodding his head. Now, sometimes that nod of the head to your coach can mean a couple of things. One is like, we're taking the lower end, or we're taking the middle end, or yes, definitely load up the one that I really wanted, right?
It could mean let's play it safe, or it could mean we are on. Let's
Load it
go
up, baby.
for it.
Load it up. Or add 2.5 to the top end.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Here comes. And then I miss it. Albert Lee, 250 on the bar. Squat, second attempt. Now, Albert is also, he was at a deficit from this last one. He missed his opener and then jumping 10 kilos. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Oh, my. Let's see the call.
It moved just as well as the opener. I wonder if it got the depth.
Okay.
It does, 2-1.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take that every day. Now, you have to mention it, though, Nick, is, you know, these referees, you're not getting any handouts today.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Our referees have trained at the highest standard and have been on these stages for decades.
Cat
even.
2, Cat 1 referees out there. There's no national referees on the platform, actually. So these are some of our most qualified referees you're going to have in USA Powerlifting. Here comes Anas Anbar. So he actually hit a 270 training squat. So not crazy to think that we could be training that way. He does like those big jumps, as you've seen, going from 237 all the way up to 252.5.
These jumps look just even enough that I think 270 might be in the cards for him today. 272.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
you
could
think
be.
so? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he is jumping a little bit of that 25 kilo mark here.
Okay.
So, or almost, sorry, that 15 kilo mark.
Anas taking his time under the bar. All lifters do have 1 minute as the bar is loaded.
And it is important to kind of watch that. We saw a little bit yesterday was, if you're not paying attention, you can get robbed.
Anas
Right.
gets that squat
Gets it in
command.
time. See the call on this one. 3 white lights. Anas on bar. Keeping it, and he clip that one off, Bryce. We need it. Anas on bar. Always animated. Always love his stuff, especially when he's celebrating a lift. He's feeling good. I cannot wait to see that third attempt, especially if he hits it.
I'm calling it now. We're taking a peek at the lifting cast here. I'm going to say 270. I think you might say 272. Let's see what he's got.
267.
267. Okay.
I want to be.
Safer bet there.
I want to be a safer bet on that one. I want to be like an even 15 keys, like he jumped on the last one. Here comes Justin Osano, 15 kilo jump as well, to 260. Now, I've watched Justin. I've called some of Justin's lifts over the years, and Justin does not leave many kilos on the bar, especially when it comes to his third attempt. But he also doesn't miss often either.
That's right. And as we see from just our opening attempts here, execution matters so much.
Can't miss. Cannot miss. Here comes Justin Osano, 260 on the bar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We got some smoke. Let's see the call.
Beautiful.
3 white lights. No doubts on that one. And it really looked like he sunk that one too, didn't it, Nick?
Absolutely, and that's the experience. That's all experience from Justin Osano. Like I said, competed 8 years. This is his 6th Raw National appearance, so don't know if we could expect anything less. We're going to see what he puts in for his 3rd.
Comes Jaden Lowe. Now taking a little bit more of a conservative jump here, Nick. Only 5 kilos for our collegiate champ, our collegiate equipped champ. Training raw now, competing raw now. 267. And I know sometimes that technique can kind of shift a little bit when it comes to the raw versus the equipped squat. Changing those habits can be tough. Oh! So out of the hole, tough. I mean, that sticking point too, it felt like he couldn't blast through that. So,
and that's a transition point.
Yeah, that is gonna be tough. Nick, I don't really know where he can go from there, because it didn't seem like he had any juice to even get to the sticking point.
I mean, I would have to retake that on the safe bet. I mean, that's the transition that we're going to see from equipped to raw. Yeah. I mean, you use the bounce of the knee wraps. You have sleeves in this one. It's going to be a different game.
It really is. Now, here comes Seth Dasuki, one of our junior lifters, jumping 20 keys to 275 kilos on the bar. That beautiful 5 red look on squats with our lovely TSS racks, our custom USA Powerlifting TSS racks. Oh yeah. Let's see the call on this one.
Pennsylvania native Seth Dasuki. 2-to-1 on depth.
Oh man. Again, they are holding them to standard. Let's see that replay. Well, the thing is if it's 50-50, and it looks 50-50 to me, it could go either way, is sometimes you might not get it then. And today's one of those days where it's, you really got to sink it. You really got to sink it. You got to go with what they're giving you, right?
Right.
It's the same thing in a lot of other sports, is sometimes you go with the defense is giving you, you go with the referees are giving you, right? So
that's right.
Here comes Matthew Young, 277.5 on the bar here, 10-kilo jump.
611 pounds. That's going to be a good lift. 2-to-1 for Matthew Young. Up next, Mr. Anthony Bilal.
292.5 on the bar here. Squat second attempts for Anthony. Now, Anthony came out, and we were talking a little bit about how this is a first time for him because he was competing as a 90 previously when he hit that 817 total, which would have broken Russell Orhey's original one.
Right.
Now, he came in, weighed in at under the 82.5 kilo mark, blasted that opener at 275, jumping up again just under 20 keys, 17.5 kilo jump to 292.5 squat second attempt.
And for those of you at home that aren't too keen on kilograms, that's 644 pounds for a man who weighed in under 181 pounds.
Anthony Bilal, let's see the call on this one. 3 white lights. Young man, let's go.
Coming up behind here, Mr. Mark Frezzell.
Anthony Bilal, how do we go back to normalcy?
I mean, we've easily got the pace picked up just a little bit here with these second attempts. We're starting to see some wild numbers on the bar.
Oh yeah, okay. Now we're getting into it. Third attempt squats here. Mark Frezzell getting us started to the party. 252.5 for Mark Frezzell, coming off a little bit of adversity on that opener, Nick. Missing that opener on depth, coming in at 245, then getting it again. But again, he was towing the line. It was 2 white lights on that one. Trying to see if he can land the plane on this one. All right, let's see the call on this one.
He's able to stand up with it.
Yeah, no. Again, you have to kind of go with what the standard is today, and unfortunately, that's just kind of what they were giving you. You have to sink it more.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow along at home to some of the live action that we're seeing on the platform, go ahead and tune into LiftingCast, www.liftingcast.com/meets USAPL Raw Nationals Day 2. And you can follow along with some of the live attempt changes and live attempt selections that we're seeing here.
There are some crazy numbers I'm seeing on this lifting cast. Here comes Luke McCain, 252.5 kilo squat for Luke McCain. Oh, little bouncy there. Let's see the call. Okay, 2 white lights. I see a blue card infraction, and that was actually something that you had mentioned earlier there, Nick, is that can be an up and down a little bit and softening of the knees after the fact, or it could have been, and you can kind of see it a little bit there shaking at the top. That some lifters will do, and they don't realize that you can actually be called on that.
That's right.
That little kind of oscillation, if you're doing that on purpose, that actually can be called against you as an up and down, because technically you're not finishing the lift.
That's right.
You have to be motionless.
That's right there. Luke McCain still on the board with that 252, just 5 kilos under his best at 257.5. Obviously, he did have that bobble on the opener, so good to see him back in the game. Eric Lapointe looking to finish with 252.5 kilos.
So for Eric Lapointe, this is a massive lift for him, especially coming off of that injury, kind of rebuilding his confidence out of the hole in the squat.
And this will match his all-time best squat. He last hit it 2 years ago.
Very emotional attempt here. Eric Lapointe, let's see the call. Give me that. 3 white lights. Eric Lapointe. Pizza Bloat is back, guys. Come on now. Odyssey Barbell Club, stand up.
You forget, he is not new to this. He is, in fact, true to this, Mr. Eric Lapointe.
Beautiful squat there and gaining momentum into bench press. And then, I mean, if you guys know anything about Eric Lapointe, it's all about those
Man
pulls,
can
baby.
bench.
Come on now.
Man can bench and man can pull, for sure.
My goodness. Now, Peter Huang, he was the one everyone kind of highlighted going into this session, 75-kilo lifter. I mean, it's been the year of Peter Huang. Let's see if it continues. 257.5 on the bar, squat, third attempt. Oh, he's fighting. Let's see the call on that one.
He's able to stand up with it
2
and does
white
get the depth.
lights. Give me that. Now, again, those red cards, they've been out all afternoon. They've been all out all evening. Love that call. And did he have 2.5 after that, Nick?
I don't think so.
There's no way. Wow, what a fight there for Peter Huang. Tremendous job, tremendous attempt selection there. Now here comes Albert Lee, 260 kilos on the bar for a 67.5-kilo lifter.
And now Albert Lee, decently, another one of our lifters that's pretty young in terms of training age, has only competed 4 times and is already on the Primetime stage now.
Go off, young man. Let's see the call. 3 white lights, Albert Lee. Love it. Coming out with some smoke here. Continuing on, we are not going to see anything less than 265 from here on out. Now, Nick, we had mentioned it last time in Asan Bar. We could see anything close to 270, and sure enough, it was 265.
And listen, that's oftentimes a play going into squats. You know, you hit something heavy in training. You know you could hit it if it comes to it.
Right.
But if you want to play it safe and you want to keep adding pounds to the total, you can go with the safe option and still be confident.
And the thing is, Nick, is what you hit in prep may not be what you end up hitting on game day.
Exactly.
It's just a guideline. It tells us what you know you can do, and let's see what you can do under the lights, under the hype. But at the end of the day, game day is game day. We don't know what's going to happen when you get here. You don't know if you're going to peak the right way, if the recomp was the same, how you're feeling in the warm-up room. It's not always going to be the number that you wanted. 265 on the bar, squat third attempt, a Asan bar.
Really cutting close to that clock there, getting the start command with 6 seconds left.
Let's see the call. 3 white lights. Give me this reaction. Come on, Anas. Every time, man, I tell you. Anas on bar, that closer stance that he's known for. Oh, yeah. Let's go. I love it. Hook it to my veins, Anas. I love it, man. Give me that.
One of my favorite lifters just to watch in general. Coming up next, Mr. Jaden Lowe. Now, he did miss just that small 5 kilo jump from first to second. Going to retake that here. Being handled by Jim Battenfield, another USAPL national level referee.
Yeah. Now, Nick, we are watching the LiftingCast. There could be a little bit of
I was just looking at that
gamesmanship
as well.
going on. And for the people at home following on LiftingCast, Jaden Lowe, that number is running off the clock. Now, remember, Jaden did miss.
He did.
And it did look like it was a miss on strength.
And
we
from
mentioned
there, yep.
that I don't know if I would take it. And sure enough, he's not taking it. That is I think that's the black belt move. What do you think, Nick?
I agree, and that's experience, and that's knowing that you. I'm a believer in more people should scratch their attempts.
Hey.
If your second attempt moves not the best,
Put it on a T-shirt, by the way. Yeah,
Why-
more people should scratch.
exactly. Save the energy. You don't want to go out there and take away energy that you need for the bench and the deadlift.
It's a great shot there by our team at Barbell Productions. Justin Asano, 272.5. We are rounding out the flight here. Primetime, day 2, our 75-kilo lifter.
Look at that
Justin
jump there
Asano.
as well.
Now, Justin has been competing since he's 18 years old, 8 years competing. Been at this for Justin. Smoked his opener and his second attempt. Again, I've seen Justin hit these lifts. He is no stranger to the grind, but they've been moving very quickly. Oh my, Justin Asano. Let's see the call.
Putting up a fight against Peter Wong.
3 white lights. Justin. Wow. My man. Putting his name on this one. Now, we mentioned earlier is, given the proximity of these 75s, Nick, it was going to be about hitting lifts. So far, Justin and Eric are doing it. It's going to be interesting to see what we do moving on to bench press and then subsequently deadlift. Now here comes Seth Dasuki, our junior lifter. 285 on the bar here. He did miss that second, and he's still opting to go up 10 kilos, Nick. It's a risk.
Very bold play here. And as a junior lifter, and you want to make a statement for yourself on the primetime stage, right? And if 275, that was just a little bit of a bobble there. 285, I think the great Carrington Amati knows what he's doing. He's an excellent play caller, not only. Let's see if Seth can find his way up. Oh, just missed that sticking point there.
And again, that was a risk, wasn't it, Nick? Is trying to jump even after missing an attempt. And he really did sink at that time.
He really did, and he looked like he was on his way up there.
You know, and again, we mentioned hindsight 2020. Could have 5 been enough? Could have 7.5? Maybe. But, you know, it was still at least worthy of trying. It is powerlifting. It is prime time session. So Matthew Young, our West Coast lifter, our Cali lifter, 285 kilos on the bar. This is an 82-kilo lifter. 285. My goodness.
Well over 3.5 times body weight for the Matthew Young.
And if you like this, I hope you stick around for bench press because Matthew Young has a big one. Come on now. Oh, just missed it there. Great catch by our spotters and loaders, always keeping our lifters healthy. Rounding us out, Nick, it's our boy. He's been putting on a show.
Are we already almost done with squats?
Man.
Oh my gosh, that was quick.
Anthony Bilal, 300 kilos on the bar to finish us out on our flight.
Send us off with a bang, Anthony. 660 pounds.
Taking a big rip. 300 keys. Anthony Bilal coming out breathing fire.
Still looking to take a crack at that big Russ or he total.
He's trending that way, isn't he, Nick?
Let's see what we got here. Mr. Anthony Bilal.
Taking his time. Oh my.
Oh my goodness, look at, and see, you could tell
See the call.
that squat was his all day
3
long.
white lights, Anthony Bilal. My goodness, capping off a tremendous squat session and putting himself in the discussion.
And I was one of the ones that didn't really have Anthony Bilal in the standings there. And he has just
we
on
weren't
execution
familiar with your
alone.
game, sir.
Listen,
Yeah.
I apologize.
I apologize. Hey, hand to God right here, Anthony. Incredible stuff. Let's take a look at who we have now lining things up after squat. Christiane Hazard taking the lead so far. Sophia Fortin, 185. And then May Angeli Seguil, 172. Rounding us out on our top 3, our primetime lifters. Now let's take a look at our 75 kilo men. Believe it or not, actually one of our general session lifters, Logan Gu, is still at the top on squat. So right after him, it is Justin Osano, and then Marvin as well on 3rd, and then Anas there at 4th. Taking a look at our 67, Cass is exactly where she needs to be. Madison Lewis from the general session, Evie Yambez, and Judith Arias on our 67 kilos. And then on the 82s, it is Anthony Bilal, Sion Farley Thompson from the general session, and Kyle Dawson also from the general session. So a few of our lifters in the general session showing out. Love what we're seeing there. Nick, who stood out to you just now?
I mean, do I have to say it?
Yeah.
Anthony Bilal?
Yeah.
I mean, not only did we cap off kind of a rocky squat session across the board, especially on openers there, but capping off with such a pretty number at 300 kilos.
Goodness. I mean, just incredible stuff coming out of Anthony Bilal. But again, too, now actually, we are catching up right now. Let's throw it to Casey on the floor. She's actually catching up with Sophia Fortin.
I'm Casey Linsebart, live with Peter Hong. Peter, you had an amazing start to Primetime. You went 3 for 3 on squats. Tell me a little bit more about that. You're kind of up and coming, and I'm hearing a little bit of a fan favorite even.
I don't know about up and coming. My first competition was in 2014, so I've been at this for a while. But you know, the squats were huge. Squats are always my toughest lift.
Yeah.
So whenever I go 3 for 3 in squats, it's going to be a good meet.
Cool. We're really excited to see what you do in bench. Do you have any kind of strategy going into the rest of the comp?
I mean, I think I'm in the pole position. So basically, it's just hit lifts. If I hit lifts, I'm going to win. You know.
Well, we appreciate your time. We wanted to get you back to warming up for bench, and we'll see you in bench soon.
All right, thank you.
Cool. And we're going to send it back to the commentators.
Thanks so much there, Casey and Peter. So, folks, that is going to wrap our squat session. Phenomenal work by our lifters. We're going to take a 10-minute break before we jump back for bench press here at USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals Prime Time session. And we're back here, folks. 2024 USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals Primetime session. Leo Bonnet-Dart here, joined by my colleague Nick Stevens. Nick, we are on to the bench press. Who are you going to be looking for here?
I mean, on the ladies' side, you can't be looking at anybody else but Jen Thompson. I mean, hallmark name of the bench press. And especially on our men's side, we were looking forward to later on Anas Ambar, Matt Young, some of our great benchers.
Oh, Matt Young is going to bring some smoke. I saw what he was putting up in that opener, so it's going to be exciting. So Nicole Marinan opening us up here on bench press, 80 kilos for that bench press opener. 3 white lights for Nicole, Chicago lifter, training out of G&D Strength Society. Shout out G&D, had a great lift there actually last week. Some great lifters based out of G&D. Vanessa Robinson opening up at 80 kilos as well on the bench press. Nick, as a coach, I know everyone has their different opinions about what you're going to do on bench press, but it might vary depending on if the bench press is your specialty or not, shouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And with the bench press, and the majority of the time, most people are going to be those bench and squat and deadlift specialists, right? They have more ability to get that total with those lifts. But with the bench press, it's not just about adding pounds to the total. It's about getting that extra advantage over the rest of the lifters, because when it comes down to those other lifts, it's going to be a lot harder to come back.
Let's see, that 80-kilo lift smokes that one, Vanessa Robinson. Now, she does get a yellow card infraction, and Nick, yellow card can imply a few things, especially on the bench press. There's so many different infractions on the bench press, specifically for a yellow. Could have been a rushed command, could have been a butt came up. Not sure from that angle, so that's just educated guesses sometimes we can make as referees. Now here comes our own colleague, Solana Lewis. You know her, you love her. She's going to be on stream right here tomorrow in prime time. Solana opening up at 95 kilos. She's excited for her bench press. There's a shot of her great coach, David Wilson. Solana said the progress on bench press has been going well and on deadlift, so she's actually one who was really known for her squat, but now her bench and deadlift starting to kind of come up here. Let's see the call on this one. 3 white lights, and if you blink, you missed it there, Nick. So great job there by Solana Lewis and her coach, David Wilson. Carmen Hu now coming up, our Indiana lifter, Circle City Strength. Big Hoosier fan over here, by the way. Shout out to Indy. I'm going to go.
Don't know if I can tell.
I'm going to give me some lifts in at Circle City out there. 95 kilos on the bar here for Carmen Hu. Bench press opener.
Great shots there from our barbell productions team.
Oh yeah, very clean. See
Carmen Hu.
There it is, 3 white lights. And I love that you mentioned that there, Nick, is our production team has done a tremendous job. They do every year, but it seems like every time we come back and do this, they've truly elevated their game. Bryce Lewis, Kevin, everybody back here at Barbell Productions has done tremendous work. It seems like we're getting new camera angles, new cameras, new high-definition shots that we're getting. The stream is getting upgraded all the time. They do great work. Here comes Sophia Fortin, 100 kilos, bench press opener.
Wow.
Smokes that 100-kilo opener. 60-kilo lifter, 3 white lights. Sophia Fortin, man.
Sophia, one of those lifters that just lifts with intention. I mean, takes no time at all getting off of the rack, taking the bar off of hands. I mean, you blink and you truly do miss it.
I
It's
know.
really
I was going to say,
fast.
it was like, what is that they said about LeBron James when he would come in at the, like, he would come to the heart, like, really hard to the hole. He was just like, with no regard for human life. Sophia Fortin, with no regard for human life. Truly. Wow. Evie Yambez, 102.5 kilos on the bar here. Bench press opener for Evie Yambez.
Coming off some excellent momentum from squats.
She's got a wide bench setup as well. A little bit of that max grip going on. See the call on that one. 3 white lights. Lands the plane there on the bench press opener for Evie Yambez. And Colleen Donahue. Again, Colleen didn't have probably the squat session that she was hoping for,
Sure.
Nick. I know she missed a couple of those attempts. It's going to be about trying to battle back, isn't it?
It is, and especially with having missed those squats and with bench being that one lift where you can truly get those extra 2.5, 5 kilos on the total, it's going to hopefully put her in a good position going into the deadlifts here if she can execute here on the bench.
And
What
again,
am I? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, again, that is tough when you put yourself at a deficit, but only you can kind of climb back out of there, isn't it?
Exactly.
102.5 on the bar bench press opener. Let's see it, Colleen.
Very clean.
Oh, yes. Come on. Let's see the call on that one. 3 white lights. Colleen Donahue now coming back in, hopefully gaining some steam here on the bench press and riding that ship. Janae Kovacs now. She had a great squat session. Janae Kovacs, 107.5 kilos. These bench presses are getting up here now, just to open.
And we are saying this now. This is Janae Kovacs, ladies and gents, one of the biggest benchers I have probably ever seen on Instagram. And she, I mean, like we said, 264 bench in training.
Wow.
And we're already at 237 just for the opener. I think we're going to be knocking on the door of that pretty soon.
Okay. I like it. Let's see Janae. Okay, all right. Looked like they held her there for a second. I want to see the call. So, okay, there is a yellow, and I'm curious if it was maybe anticipating the call and maybe jumping that, or if it could have been a heel popping up off or the butt popping up off the pad. We're not sure, again, just an educated guess, just based off the angle we could see there. Here comes Cass Carlton. Cass Carlton, she squatted a literal house in that
A world
opening
record of
squat
a
session.
house.
Yes, literally a world record of a house. So again, Cass letting everybody know, like, hey, you gotta, if you're gonna come with the queen, best not miss. And she is coming in hot. 110 on the bar, no free ads. Cass Carlton, bench opener.
Rocking the new A7 colorway.
Very clean.
I'm such a big fan of the purple.
Oh yeah. Huge fan of the A7 meat kits. Oh yeah.
That was
Let's
clean.
see
They
it.
held her there for a little bit
A
as
little
well. I wonder if it had to do with one of the elbows.
I think you're right there, Nick, and I'm looking at that yellow card infraction, and that could be something that the referees will do sometimes to try to keep these lifters honest, is when you have that kind of wide grip bench press, that wide setup, high max arch, is they'll hold you out there on the start, and sometimes they'll hold you a little bit at the pause too, just to kind of keep it honest, because they know you got a little bit of a shorter ROM, a little bit of an advantage on that one, is trying to even that playing field. Comes May Angelisa Seguil, massive bench press on May, 115 opener, and she also has a very high arch. You'll see it here, 115 on the bar. Wouldn't be shocked if you see a little bit of a longer hold on this one. Snappy. Let's see the call. Okay, so I'm seeing that yellow again, Nick.
And I wonder if it was the elbows.
I can't. It could be. Now the elbows would.
Oh, that'd be a blue card.
It would be a blue.
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
So like, but on this one, I'm trying to guess what it could be. I'm not seeing it. If you're not seeing it at this angle, it could be the glute popping up off the ground. Now, subtotal queen, Christiane Hazard. Christiane also squatted a house in the opening squat sessions. So moving on here to 115 on her bench press opener.
Beautiful.
All right, let's see the call on that one. 3 white lights. Now, for Christiane, Nick, it's going to be critical for her to hit these lifts, more specifically because it's not to say that her deadlift isn't any good. She's in prime time. She has a good deadlift.
That's right.
But relative to the competition, she does give up some kilos.
Absolutely, and we're pretty sure that she does have a pretty sizable lead with that squat, but we're going to see how it comes down to the bench press. Now, we're talking about the bench press, and we're talking about women's bench pressing. Possibly the best name.
Call it what it is.
She's the GOAT.
She's the GOAT.
She is
She's
the GOAT.
Come on now. Yeah.
Jennifer Thompson, multiple-time world record holder, multiple-time national record holder, in the bench press especially.
Jen Thompson is like the Barry Bonds of powerlifting to me in that there's so many little fun tidbits. Let's see the 125 opener. Okay. See the call on that one. 3 white lights. Jen Thompson, one of my favorite stats on her is she holds the bench press record in the 60, 67, and 75 kilo classes on the bench press. It's insane.
I mean, there's not even MMA fighters who hold belts across 3 weight classes.
Man, it's like that's what I'm like. It's like she's one of those where like someone needs to just like tweet out or send out some fun little Jen Thompson facts every once in a while, just like
because there's a lot of them.
It's fun, man. 105 competitions is just like is another one that's one of my favorites. It's man, well traveled. So here comes Nicole Marinan opening up here our second attempts, moving right along here, Nick. 85 kilos, jumping a healthy 5 keys here.
That's about a standard jump that you see for the bench press. You can't really take those massive jumps here.
Especially in our 60-kilo lifters, too. And she has a long way to travel. You see those long arms on Nicole Marinan. 3 white lights. Now, you can imagine that will definitely help her on the deadlift.
Absolutely.
There's a reason they call her Nikki Breadlifts here. She can pull a house.
And we may come to see that later on, you know, with the shakeups that we've seen in the squat. Yeah. If we do see something similar with the bench press, that deadlift advantage is always an anchor point.
It really is, truly. Vanessa Robinson now also taking that same jump, 85 kilos from her opener, 5-kilo jump.
Vanessa had a bit of a rough time on squat there, only getting that opener at 157.
Yeah. I was going to say, it didn't start on the day she wanted, but she did get the opener here. Let's see what happens on this one. Let's see the call on there. 2-1, and I'm seeing a yellow. Nick, what did you see there?
I saw her right hand open. Her fingers came off of the press before she got the rack command.
Yeah.
Which is a yellow card infraction. Right. Your fingers have to be wrapped around the surface of that bar.
Now, Nick, the amount of yellows that we've seen, you would think a few of these lifters at least, or maybe their coaches are trying to get that clarification. So I'm hoping that they're asking that referee, because you can. Right. Hey, what was the call there? You'll let them know, and they'll let them know immediately. Now, Solana, again, 100-kilo bench press second attempt. She did mention bench press has been going well in training. Let's see it here.
Wow.
100-kilo bench, moving well. Let's see the call. 3 white lights there for Solana. Now, for her, I do believe 102 was that kind of area that she was trying to hover around. She did hit it in training. I think we're going to see that today. I think 102 is definitely a healthy jump.
I think so too, and especially after having that little bit of redemption with that squat there, I think she's well suited for it.
For sure. Here comes Carmen, who 100 kilos on the bench press. So for Carmen, it was a tough one to miss that opener on squat. but then she subsequently was able to kind of land it after that, and that's great. I know that's not very common for her. She's actually more of a 9-for-9 lifter, so for her it was uncharted territory. Oh, no. Okay, all right. So missing this one, too. A little bit of that commentator curse there, Nick. Unfortunately, that was on me. Carmen, who hopefully she can bounce back on this next one.
And this kind of plays in a little bit into my predictions here, where I kind of had Solana and Carmen battling it out for that third place spot. Now, with Carmen, she did miss her opener squat, her third attempt squat, and now this second attempt bench. Solana Lewis, if she can stay executing, might be able to come for that third spot. Now, Sophia Fortin.
So fast. All the time. Every time she comes in here. Let's go. Oh, my. See the call.
Explosive to the platform, explosive through the press.
Let's go. 3 white lights. Sophia Fortin. You want to talk about breathing fire, Nick. My goodness. Incredible lifter here.
No belt, no wrist wraps.
No problems. Evie Yambez, 107.5 on the bar here. Bench press second attempt. So for Evie, missing a squat earlier, that was a little bit rough, but she was able to bounce back, hit that third. Now hoping to go 3 for 3 here.
Another delayed start command there. I wonder if...
Oh, my goodness. Okay, Evie Yambez. Missing that one there, too. Off the chest as well, and sometimes that can happen. A little bit of those wider grips it's glued to your chest a little bit, and it's going to happen. So hopefully she can retake that one, maybe. Not sure what the issue was on that one. So every once in a while, as you're kind of out of position, and that can happen with the bench press, especially on those wide grip benches. Here comes Colleen Donahue. Colleen Donahue trying to rebuild that momentum after having a little bit of a rougher squat session earlier. Hits that opener. Moving on to 107.5 now on her second.
Colleen Donahue, 67.5 kilo weight class. Like we said, 5 kilos up from that opener. Let's see if she's able to maintain that momentum here. Another wide grip bench.
Oh, Colleen.
Strong through the press.
All right, 3 white lights. Colleen Donahue. Great job there by Colleen. Easier said than done, Nick, is having the mental fortitude to kind of battle back from some missed attempts, you know, especially subsequent attempts. So a huge testament to Colleen Donahue and her coach, Abia Babu there.
Absolutely. Coming up next here, Miss Janae Kovacs. My pick for the 67.5 kilo supremacy did, after that missed squat attempt, did slip behind Cassie Carlton. Currently forecasted second here.
You got to hit the lifts, Nick. Isn't that true? 112. Bench press second.
But Janae Kovacs, a bencher.
Okay, let's see the call. So she does get it 2-1. I'm seeing a yellow card infraction. Curious what that one was.
From my view, it looked like she may have jumped the press command there. Just the slightest bit. Could also check the hips and the contact as well.
She did. She did jump it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see the hand moving after she got the press command. This is a good catch there, Nick.
Yep, she is on the board, though.
She is,
She's
that's
still
right.
on the board. I've still got faith.
Yep, that's right. So Cass Carlton trying to keep her out of reach. Cass trying to be very overly specific with that handoff person, and it's important that you for anyone at home, for any of our competitive lifters at home, make sure you give excruciating detail to the person who is lifting off for you. It's important. Give them your cadence. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. I take a deep breath. It's up and out, or it's right up. 115 on the bar here.
Whoa.
For Cass Carlton. Let's see the call. 3 white lights, Cass Carlton. She is as advertised so far, Nick.
She's widening that gap further and further from Janae Kovacs.
I mean, do you expect anything less from a two-time champ? Coming for it.
Looking for the three-peat.
Coming for it.
It might be in the cards there.
Might be. May Angeles Seguil, our 60-kilo lifter, reigning champion, won 17.5. Interestingly enough, Nick only opting to go up. That first one looked pretty snappy, so I'm actually kind of surprised by only a 2.5-kilo jump.
And that could be one of the many different options you could do for play calling, coming from the handling perspective. Could be using all she can to try and conserve as much energy for the pulls.
Could be.
She is sitting pretty comfortably in the first place spot right now on forecasted total.
And that might be it there, Nick, might just be doing enough to win. Which, by the way, hey, if you can do that, absolutely do it. You know, there's no extra awards for how much you beat the competition. You just got to beat the competition.
That's right.
Christiane Hazard, 120 on the bar. Again, for Christiane, it's all about that subtotal. She needs to have some big squat and bench to kind of put everyone else out of reach. All right. A little out of position off the chest. I saw some. Let's see the call.
Curious of that call there.
Okay, so she does get a yellow. What did you see, Nick?
A lot of shakiness, a little bit of up and downward motion, but she did get a yellow card underneath that red, so the referees did not see that up and downward motion. Possible the hips might have come up there.
Could have been.
Possible uneven lockout, because that's a yellow card as well. But we saw her give the nod to Steve DeNovi to probably scratch that last attempt there for Christiane Hazard.
Wouldn't be shocked. Now here comes the GOAT, Jen Thompson. Jen Thompson is trending towards a big day. For Jen, this is only 4 kilos under her current record. So depending on how this moves, she could try to chip it and maybe break that record right here. Would you be shocked?
I wouldn't. She's done it many, many times before. And for the folks at home, 142.5.
It's 3 big ones. In freedom units. Let's see it, Jen. Oh, no.
Ooh. It looked like it started to fall towards her head just a little bit there.
It did. So unfortunately for Jen, it does look like it got slightly out of position off the chest, and then it turned a little bit into that neck press, unfortunately, now you're kind of losing that leverage, and now you're no longer stacked over your wrists and your shoulders. So once you lose that position, it's pretty much over, isn't it, Nick?
It is, and you know we're talking about just centimeters, inches, millimeters, just the slightest deviation from those ranges of motion.
Yeah, that's the bench press. Once that moment arm kind of increases at that point, it spells disaster, truly. Now here comes Nicole Marinin, 87.5 kilos on the bar. So Nicole, for her, it's all about hitting those three bench presses. You have to, because she has that deadlift advantage. She has a big pull. It's all about just making sure she doesn't miss any bench presses at all. There's her coach, the great Brad Couillard, the godfather of powerlifting, the Bill Belichick of the game, if you will. Coach of coaches.
What a comparison that is. What an honor.
It's funny because he's a Commanders fan, so he's probably not going to like that. Let's see the call there.
That's a good
3 white
lift.
lights.
Nicole Marinin, our first lifter of the day to go 6 for 6 thus far.
That's right.
Which we've been saying it the whole day, Leo. I mean, execution is the name of the game here. When the volatility of these lifts, and you have lifters that are missing their openers, going up and missing those lifts, you know, the execution, sticking to the plan matters more than anything.
Yeah, very well said. I mean, you're looking at the LiftingCast. It's looking like Christmas a little bit out here, Nick. I mean, we're getting a little bit of green, a lot more red than I think we would have expected out of some of our primetime lifters. So, but we mentioned it's all about who makes these lifts today. That's what it is these high pressure attempts. Vanessa Robinson, 90 kilos on the bar. See the call on that one.
Way to finish there, Vanessa.
Give me that. 3 white lights, Vanessa Robinson.
What
Love
a run that was.
Come on now.
1 for 3 on squat to come back 3 for 3 on bench. What a momentum
Go
change
off,
for Vanessa.
Queen. Let's go. Carmen Hu. Now, Carmen missing that 100-kilo bench press, and it did look a little bit tough, and it looked like it was on strength.
Yep.
Hopefully, it was just a technique issue. So for Carmen, it's trying to battle back and get back into this battle here and hopefully end up in a podium spot. 100 kilos retaking on her third attempt. See it, Carmen. No, you saw it there too, Nick.
Yep.
A little bit of that anticipation, and as a lifter, sometimes it's a high risk, high reward is anticipating that press command. It's usually not going to work out.
It really isn't, and that could be something that could be trained on going into the next preparation.
3-count pauses. I see that in somebody's future.
Long pauses.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
3-count pauses. Get used to them. Love them. Here comes Solana Lewis, 102.5 kilos on the bar for Solana Lewis. Pretty sure she hit this one in training. Let's see what she does here. Third attempt bench press. Give me that, Solana. Let's see the call. 3 white lights for our colleague, Solana Lewis. Great job, 102.5 on the bar for Solana. Tremendous work. She loves it. She's running back here in the warm-up room. David Wilson loves it, her new coach. Great job there. Sophia Fortin, and folks, if you blink, you miss her. 107.5. She's going to go quick.
Not even 10 seconds on the clock, and she gets that start command.
No. Oh, gosh. Now, she misses that one. And again, Nick, that can show a little bit of inexperience. And the only reason I'll say that is sometimes it's good to kind of take your time a little bit. There's a fine line between getting ready quickly and rushing.
Of course.
And I think we saw a little bit of the latter there. Now, here comes Evie Yambez, 107.5, retaking that bench press attempt. She did miss that second, trying to battle back here. Evie Yambez. The 67s, it's the battle that we kind of expected, isn't it, Nick?
It really is. Not only is it the deepest class, it is definitely one of the strongest we've seen thus far at Raw Nationals.
Let's see it, Evie. Oh! All right. See the call. Okay, so I think it looked like a jumped command. She did.
Yep, it looked like she hit the chest, was waiting for that press, and kind of held it at the chest there a little bit. I think she realized, got a little bit too quick there.
Again, 3-count pauses, coaches. Know them, love them.
And if you don't, you will.
You will.
Colleen Donahue.
110 on the bar here for Colleen. 2.5 kilo jump to her third. Colleen, she's battling back. Hopefully she can hit this one. We're rooting for her here. Long layoff since 2019, coming back here to Raw Nationals Primetime 2024.
And she had a severe arm injury, which that is what took her out for that 5-year hiatus.
My goodness. It's good to see her back. Fight.
Just the slightest little bobble at the wrists.
Oh, my goodness. And, Nick, and you called it there. We mentioned it earlier, it's centimeters. Bench press is a game of centimeters. You find that stack. It's those shoulders, those wrists, and those elbows. When you miss that stack at all in any one of those parts, it's really tough to battle back from.
It was. And, I mean, even just looking at the replay, I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed the bobble there, and so it's just the slightest little movements outside of that range of motion.
Guess what here, Nick? Every lift from here is going to be at least 115. These are all female lifters going 115 plus. Janae Kovacs getting us started here on this run. 115 on the bar. Bench press third attempt. Let's see it, Janae.
Not the 264 we were looking at in training, but only 11 pounds below
Okay,
that.
2 white lights. Let's go. Come on, Janae.
Oh,
Hey.
that puts her in a great spot for pulls.
I'll take it.
Oh, my
I'll
goodness.
take it. And my colleague Nick loves it because this prediction is definitely, it is not at risk anymore. It can still happen. And Janae is making him look like a smart man right now.
But I'll say this, Cassie Carlton has not missed. And I'm knocking on wood right now because we absolutely do not want her to. We obviously want her to make this lift.
Right there with you. Right there with you. My goodness, Cassie Carlton, man. The end of this flight is wild. Wow. Cassie
We were talking
Carlton.
about it earlier today. I mean, this will be one of the main points of the show. Is going
of
to be
all
our
weekend,
ladies.
truly. Cass Carlton, 117.5, bench press third attempt for our two-time champ. Give me this. Cass Carlton, see the
Wow.
call. 3
Wow.
white lights, golf clap for Cass. Gotta give it up.
Masterful play calling there from Sean
on
Collins.
now.
Barbells and cats.
Let's go, baby. New father, Sean Collins. by the way.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
And then congratulations to Cassie as well.
Dude.
6 for 6.
Incredible.
Only the second lifter thus far to do so.
I mean, you got to expect it with someone with that kind of pedigree, right? I mean, she's done so well at a high level for so long. We're coming to expect it now. Here comes our 60-kilo lifters, benching more than our 67-kilo lifters. Most of our 67-kilo lifters. May Angelie Seguil taking a 5-kilo jump now when she only took that 2.5 earlier. 122.5 for our 60-kilo lifter. Wow. Come on now. Let's see it. 3
Oh, my
white lights,
goodness.
May Angelie Seguil. Wow.
National champion looking for a repeat here.
Yep. Christiane Hazard, not to be outdone, coming for the exact same thing. She's trying not to blink, competing next to Christiane Hazard and May Angelie Seguil. 60-kilo lifter, Christiane Hazard, known for her squat, but also massive bench press. Got a little bit out of position last time, but was able to land it. Let's see what she does here. Bench press third attempt. Let's see it, Christiane.
Another jumped press command. Oh my goodness. And now we saw Christiane, after that second attempt, give the nod to Steve Denovi. And I wonder if going
Tough.
up that 2.5 was the right
It might
move
have been.
there.
Yeah, and you know what? You might have been right there, Nick. Is sometimes that is what you have to do. Is sometimes you got to scrap. Here comes Jen Thompson, the GOAT, retaking that 142.5. Freedom units, Nick. This is 315 essentially. Let's call it what it is.
The magical 3-plate date.
That's right.
The landmark 3-plate bench press.
This is the lift that she's known for. Is that 142 category, 142 plus. Jen Thompson.
I'll say she wouldn't hold records in 3 categories.
Right.
Across
Yeah.
multiple age divisions as well.
Let's see it here. Hall of Famer Jen Thompson, bench press third attempt. Come on, Jen. Fight. Oh, just ran out of gas there. A little bit of elbow extension. Unfortunately, just does not get that one there. So moving on now, Nick, to our men's session. We are moving on to the 67.5 kilo men's bench press. Our men's bench press now, Luke McCain opening us up with 150 kilos on that bench press. We got some really big bench presses here, but they run the gamut, right? I mean, like, you're going to see some of our lighter lifters probably a little bit smaller, but you'd be surprised. Some of our lighter lifters even just in the primetime session.
Right.
150 we're opening at a 67 kilo body weight. That's what we're doing now?
We're talking somewhere about 150-ish pounds body weight, already
goodness.
putting up over 3 plates in the gym.
Please. Luke McCain.
Junior lifter as well.
That's right, the Virginia product, 18 years old.
Or teen lifter, excuse me.
So he jumped that command, and I think I saw that one as well. And now there seems to be a little bit of a theme here, Nick, is I'm seeing some of our, not just Luke, but also some of our female lifters as well. A lot of them on the younger side, you're seeing some jumped commands and some anticipating commands. Is guys and girls, you have to make sure, when in doubt, wait.
Absolutely, and this is his first national appearance, Luke McCain. He does have that collegiate nationals win under his belt, but this is a different beast. This is prime time.
Yeah, like there's not as many people backstage. It's tough.
Albert Lee opening at 155. Now let's see the call on that one. 3 white lights there. And Nick, I'm glad you mentioned it. Is Collegiate Nats is an absolutely hype event. Anyone who's watching at home, I highly recommend going to a Collegiate Nats, competing in Collegiate Nats if you get to.
Such a fun time.
Volunteering at a Collegiate Nats, doing commentary, doing any of those things. Collegiate Nationals is one of the most fun events to do in all of powerlifting, truly. Here comes Seth Dasuki, our junior lifter, opening at 157.5. But it's important to note that Primetime is a bit different in that you pretty much have the entire warm-up room to yourselves. Everyone pretty much has a rack to themselves. It's a little lonely. It's not. It's very kind of like, it's high pressure. It's quiet back there.
Not for nothing, it's decently low energy.
Yeah.
In comparison to some of the things that people at high school Nats do experience.
Yeah. Now let's see this one. 157 hits that one. 3 white lights, and you have to mention that thing, Nick, because it does make a bit of a difference. Is some people do better with a higher energy environment. Some people do better with a quieter environment, right? A little bit like a higher. Now, for some people, this is the higher pressure environment. There's actually more cameras here than compared to any other national event that we do. There's more hype. There's more kind of like focus on you as a lifter, less like kind of crazy noise and loud music. It's actually it's pretty nerve-wracking if you're the lifter.
It is, and especially coming from a collegiate national standpoint.
Here comes Eric Lapointe, former national champion, opening at 160 kilos on the bench press. Oh, yeah.
Very strong.
Good
Eric
pop off
Lapointe.
the chest there. Love that. So here comes Mark Frezzell, Marine Corps veteran Mark Frezzell, 162.5 kilo lifter. Now for Mark, interestingly enough, not the day he probably wanted on squat. Little bit of issues there on depth on his opener, and then subsequently that third. So hopefully he can bounce back here. Now the thing about Mark is he actually has a bit of a closer grip bench press, which you don't really see in a 75 kilo lifter, and more of a flat back that you otherwise would never see on a 75 kilo lifter. Let's see the call. Waiting on it, waiting on it, waiting on it. 3
Good
white
lift.
lights, good lift.
And having that closer grip bench does lend itself more to a longer range of motion, which, like we said, you probably see a little bit more often with our heavyweight lifters. You don't really see that too often with our younger lifters. So that variance in technique, that variance in approach to the barbell is, in my opinion, what makes powerlifting one of the most fun things to watch.
It really is, yeah. And Mark, it's one of those things where I love kind of seeing that old school technique of just like, hey man, I don't need an arch, I don't need a wide stance, I don't need a wide grip, we're just gonna set up and press. He's just kind of old school strong. Here comes Justin Osano, 165 on the bar bench press opener. Had a great squat session, Justin Osano.
He really did.
Oh yes, very snappy. Justin coming out with some smoke here today, isn't he, Nick?
He is, and Justin Osano looking a little bit light in the cards comparative to Peter Wong. Well, he did have a squat advantage there. Peter Wong has the bench advantage here, opening just a little bit higher. But Neil Osano is going to have to answer with his deadlift. Justin Osano, excuse me.
Now here comes Jaden Lowe, opting not to take that third squat. Where remember we saw there, Nick, was unfortunately Jaden, it looked like he kind of, some poor attempt selection there. Was that second attempt was just really too heavy, missed it, and then he scraps his third.
It was, and it was likely he probably opened a little bit too high there because he only did have that a 5 kilo jump from first to second, which isn't an entirely large jump.
Nails this one, 167.5 for Jaden Lowe. And could that possibly be indebted to the fact that, transitioning from equipped into the raw, it's tough to kind of gauge how strength feels and how things feel. So maybe you could chalk it up to that.
Absolutely. And I mean, all of the flowers to our equipped lifters. I mean, equipped powerlifting is a completely different sport in and of itself.
It's the birth of powerlifting, though, too.
Absolutely.
It's how we got here. Absolutely. I mean, you have to give your flowers to equipped powerlifting. I don't think powerlifting would be anywhere if we weren't showing love to the birth of powerlifting, which is equipped. Now here comes Anas on bar. Got 3 biscuits on the bar to open here, Nick, and that looks pretty. Look at those
Another
TSS.
very just clean bar there.
Oh, yeah.
Matches very, very well with the custom candy apple paint with the white on top.
Candy
TSS.
apple red. Come on now, TSS. Snappy bench press there. 175 there for Anas on bar. There you go. 3 white lights for
Anas
Anas.
is really good at temp selection. I mean, you look at most of his past meets, he doesn't miss all that much.
No, he doesn't. Peter Huang. And again, this has been the year of Peter Huang in USA Powerlifting.
It really has. Coming off a Rising Tide win, solidifying that pro card, World Cup win.
Yep.
The momentum is really behind him at the
Highest dots there, too. I
Highest
mean,
dots.
Come on, man. Go off, Peter. New Jersey lifter, 175 on the bar. Brother, come on. Come on now.
There's men that are in my weight class, in the 125s,
Yeah.
that can't move 3 reds that quickly.
Come on now. It's
Peter-
not supposed to move that
I mean-
fast, Nick. It's not supposed to move that fast.
Peter Wong putting on a showcase on bench press. My goodness.
Come on now. Here comes Anthony Bilal, and we saw him earlier. 300 keys, 300 big ones. Word? Come on now. Anthony Bilal.
Opening 413.
Now, if you can believe this, by the way, Nick, this isn't the end of the fight. Like, somehow there is somebody right behind Anthony Bilal. I don't want to get to it just yet, but Anthony Bilal is opening at 187.5, and yet there is somebody who is considerably behind him. Let's see it, Anthony. Man of culture in the Hyper Vs, shout out.
I appreciate it.
Those who know. Hey, all right, let's see the call. 2-1 now. Nick, I did see a little bit of pop off.
I was going to say it was
glute, but
likely
I'm-
his hips.
And it could have been. And that's the only thing I would guess on that point. And again, we don't have that angle, so that's really the only assumption we could take here as referees. Now, here comes Matt Young. We had mentioned this and alluded to it earlier. This is a guy who had actually set and broke Sean Noriega's old bench press in a local meet of 217.5. So he's opening at 205. Could we see it today? Let's see how he opens here. 205
I think we're going to see a
bench
little
press.
bit more.
Matt Young.
Um,
Come on.
and
Matt
you
Young.
want to talk? I mean, that is the bench press of peace.
Word.
That is the bench press of peace. The low arch, very long range of motion.
My man. Respect.
I think we're going to see
Respect.
something
Come on now.
higher than that 217
Come on
bench
now.
press.
Matt Young. Let's go, man. Cali lifter. Absolutely killing it right now. Here comes Luke McCain now, opening up our second attempt bench press. 157.5 for a 67.5 kilo lifter. Coming into this, we expected him to kind of be the favorite, especially with that submitted total. But again, kind of showing a little bit of that inexperience so far.
Waited for that press command well there, but look at the hips.
I did see that. Let's
Watch
see the
the
call
hips.
here, though. Okay, 3 white lights. What did you see there, Nick?
I saw his hips come up just a little bit there. If we do get the replay, let's see the. Yep. So we saw just a little bit of daylight under there,
Great
and
catch.
you know,
Yeah.
oftentimes, the referees, especially with the shadows and the lights
Yeah.
and everything else, it's not going to be the clearest picture of that.
You know what helps with that? Black singlet.
So much so.
Clip that off. Seth Dasuki, here comes our junior lifter, 162.5 kilos on the bar for Seth. Okay. See the call on that one.
Another one of those was super long range of motion there.
3 white lights. 3 white lights, though. Very convincing. And we mentioned it, but bench press really is, it's that personal lift, Nick. It's everyone is built differently. Everyone has a different morphology. Everyone has different limb lengths. So naturally, what's going to feel strong for you is not going to feel the same for me or anyone even watching at home. So you have to find what works for you. Your foot position, your hand position, right? The amount that you arch or that you can arch. It's going to be individual to you and what feels stronger and what you can program to do with enough frequency, right?
That's right. It really does. It takes time. It takes experience. It takes practice. It takes years.
It takes getting jacked also.
It really does. You've got to put on the size if you want the weight to move.
That's right. Here comes Albert Lee. There it is, 162. Let's see the call. Give me that. 3 white lights, Albert Lee. And we mentioned bench press it can be as technical or as non-technical as you want.
Right.
And also, at a certain point, it's important to note that the bench press, sometimes people make too much of an idol of it, is because it's so easy over the course of your career to add kilos to the squat or the deadlift. You always call it padding the two sides of the meet.
Right.
But understanding that the bench press, hey, that's still a major way to win meets. It's still a major way to build your total.
Absolutely. And when you get down to those deadlift battles that we're going to see later on, we're going to see some missed deadlifts likely where the kilos that they're making up here on the bench press is going to take them and give them that extra padding going into those battles.
That's right. Speaking of battles here, Eric Lapointe is in the midst of one. 167.5 kilos. Oh, yes. Come on, Eric Lapointe. See the call here for Pizza Bloat. 3 white lights. My man put some weight on the bar for our reigning, or our former national champion, Eric Lapointe. Very snappy bench press there. Great angle by our team. Mark Frezzell, again, we mentioned that master grip, that master setup, a little bit closer, less of an arch. Originally from Pittsburgh. Go Steelers, 172.5, bench press, second attempt.
Very
All right.
strong.
See the call on that one. Like that, 3 white lights. Tremendous work by our boy Mark Frezzell. Great angle here by our team. And look at that. No wasted movement, too. Leg drive, everything. The hips stay in place. Very locked in.
Everything was very clean there. And Mark Frezzell, a clean lifter in general. I mean, his squats, while he didn't, unfortunately, he didn't have the best run. Very clean technical squatter, very clean technical bencher as well.
Yeah, same thing on deadlift, by the way. He's also like very kind of simple setup, like very simple setup, but he executes every time. There's no wasted movement. Here comes Justin Osano, 175 on the bar. Bench press bench press second attempt. You got 3 biscuits on here for Mr. Justin Osano. Osano Training Systems. One of our Florida lifters. Oh, Justin, come on, dog. Three white lights.
That was ridiculously fast. Sorry, I was a little speechless there at how fast that was. My goodness.
Now here comes Jaden Lowe. Now for Jaden, squat probably wasn't where he wanted to go, but now on bench press, he was able to kind of hit it on that opener, and it did move well enough. I'm curious how the second attempt will move. Here's 175 for his bench press second attempt.
A decent jump there as well, 7.5 kilos.
Not small.
So about 15 pounds, give or take.
Yeah. Okay, let's see the call here, Nick. 3 white lights. All right, so for Jaden, let's make the assumption here. I think the safe call for him would be 2.5 to
2.5
5.
kilos, absolutely.
And I would probably do 2.5.
I would also do 2.5 there, and
but you know what I think he's going to do? I think he's going to go 5.
You think he's going to do 5? We'll see. We've got a live look here at the LiftingCast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching at home, be sure to tune in so you can get as live of a picture as we get here behind the TV.
Here comes Anas Anbar, our friend of the stream, 185 on the bar for his bench press. And Anas, one of our Texas lifters, also a pretty bench press on him too. Very kind of like a stacked position. He's always had a really, really strong, snappy bench press, especially on a 75-kilo lifter. Not easy to do.
In the Vans, no less.
Yeah, got to call it out.
Interesting time at lockout there for
I want to see the call here. So, yeah, I'm seeing kind of that oscillation. There was a couple of things I saw there. I was curious if he was going to get the elbow call, but it was fine. And it looks like, I think you saw it there, is that hand came up after he started up. It looked like he jumped the command.
Yep.
And again, maybe there could be something that we don't know, Nick, is maybe there is some sound that someone might be catching in the background that we're not hearing.
Right.
So that actually could be causing the issue. Here comes Peter Huang. Again, one of the brand names this year in USA Powerlifting, could even be the man of the year by year's end, depending on how today goes. 185 on the bar.
I'll say if Peter keeps executing the way he is.
My goodness, Peter Huang, let's see the call. 3 white lights, Peter Huang. Have a day, young man.
Currently sitting pretty ahead of Justin Osano there, but remember, Justin Osano has that big deadlift advantage.
He does. He does, big time. And Anthony Bilal, 195 bench press, second attempt for Anthony Bilal. And for Anthony, it's about trying to chase that number, getting closer to 817. We'll see how he does. Every lift is a chance to get closer.
Currently forecasted at 785 kilos on the total, so not entirely outside of striking distance there for Anthony Bilal.
Yeah. We'll have to see how his deadlifts go, right? 195 here. Bench press looked good there. Let's see the call. Give me that. 3 white lights. Anthony Bilal.
Knocking on the door.
Speaking of knocking on the door. My man. Matthew Young. Warcat Matt Young. 210 kilos on the bar. Matt Young is looking potentially to break his own record here in Primetime if things continue the way we're expecting them to move.
Keep in mind, he does have that 217, or he is making that crack at that 217 bench attempt.
Now, this is a sizable jumper. For somebody who has a massive bench press like Matt Young, it's not that crazy to think that this is a common jump for him. Let's see it, Matt.
Wow.
What? Let me see it.
I think he's.
Let me see it.
I think he's good to match
3
217.
white lights.
I think he can do it. I think he can match that 217.
Let me see one more time. Yes.
Maybe safe bet 215.
Safe bet 215. Safe bet is 215. I would. You kind of know how I work. I would do 215, but I wouldn't be mad at 217.
I'm a shooter sometimes, especially at these big events with Primetime. I want him to go for it.
I knew you were going to say it. I was like, I knew he was like, brother, I know you're going to say it. I know you're going to say 217. I'm like, you know what? Go off, King. I love it.
Hey.
I love it.
I love big numbers.
It's Primetime, baby. Luke McCain, and Primetime it is 3. Now we are on to our third attempts. 160 keys on the bar here for this young man, Luke McCain. Let's go. See the call. 2 white lights. That's all we need.
Luke
Great
McCain,
job.
Able to tighten up there for those bench presses.
Yeah. And he needed it, though, too. I mean, like, obviously having some hiccups on squat, but able to battle back. And the thing is, all you need is 2 white lights.
You do.
All you need is 2 white lights.
Majority rules in powerlifting, folks.
That's right. Now, interestingly enough, if you are a lifter who's competing against Luke and you're trying to chase him, right, like any of the other lifters here, Albert, you can contest any of those 2 white light lifts.
Absolutely.
I saw it earlier yesterday, actually. Pat Carr did that and it actually worked in his lifter favor. Seth Dasuki, 82.5 kilo junior, taking 165 for a ride on his bench press third attempt. Give me that. Good fight there. See the call? 3
Excellent.
white lights.
This is what we like to see, folks. We've had a clean run all the way through second attempts. I wonder if we're going to see the same thing. I mean, the energy is there. The momentum is there.
Yeah.
We've got Albert Lee coming up next, followed by some massive bench presses to round out the flight.
Yep.
Albert Lee here, 170 kilos, locked and loaded.
It's always a lot of pressure on these third bench presses, isn't it, Nick?
It really is, and statistically speaking, that third bench attempt is the most commonly missed attempt.
It is.
Across
actually.
all 9 lifts.
Yep. In all of powerlifting. 170 for Albert Lee. Oh, yes. Let me see this.
Come on now, keeping the
Not
streak
today,
alive.
bench demons. Not today. Let's go. Eric Lapointe onwards. And you mentioned it, though, Nick, is that third bench press can be, it can be a demon, though. And for a lot of people and for a lot of cases, for one reason or another, it's just really hard to hit. And seems like it's always better to take the safe bet.
It really is. And we're talking about where, 2.5 kilos can be the difference between lockout and stapling yourself.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it
Could also be the difference in silver and gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking of silver and gold, Eric Lapointe trying to keep pace. 172.5 for Eric, former national champ. All right, see the call. 3 white lights. Eric Lapointe putting the pressure out there for his fellow 75-kilo lifters. Now we're moving on to Mark Frezzell. 5-kilo jump to 177.5 on the bar.
Eric Lapointe really putting the pressure to Justin and Peter. And the rest of the 75s putting them on notice. He's the national champion. You can't forget me.
That's right. Fully healthy Eric Lapointe is dangerous. Keep that in mind. Mark Frezzell.
They always
Also
say,
trying to make sure y'all don't forget either.
they always say healthy Eric Lapointe isn't real. He can't hurt you. He definitely can.
He absolutely can, and he's here.
Mark Frezzell.
Oh.
Beautiful
I know you
finish.
saw that. I know you saw that wrist a little bit. Let's see the call. 3 white lights. Now that is incredible because watch this replay here, and you'll see what I saw. His wrist.
Yep.
Ever so slightly, and it's like it's all about being able to kind of muscle through because for him, it's not to say that it's not technical. It is technical, but in that he can still fight through it because he doesn't have that crazy arch.
Exactly.
He doesn't fail off the chest. He can still have some time to kind of muscle it out, and that is sometimes the advantage of maybe not using as much of a high arch or a max grip. Here comes Jaden Lowe, 177.5 for Jaden Lowe.
Very safe bet there, 2.5 kilos from second to third.
We mentioned that one earlier, right? I think that was the right call. Now let's see if it actually works out. Good fight.
Oh, no, just
tough.
ran out of juice.
And that can happen, Nick, is sometimes the safe bet even still might not even work out. Is you can kind of see on this, sinks it a bit, not too bad, gets good pop off the chest, and then that sticking point just at a certain point, Nick, it just takes too long.
It really does. Your body is just sapped at that point.
Yeah.
Your body only has a finite amount of energy.
It's milliseconds, though, isn't it? It truly is. You cannot hang in that sticking point very long. I've seen only one time in my entire life any lifter who's actually been able to have the sticking point. It was like 2 or 3 seconds. It was one of the coolest bench presses I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible, and he still nailed it. Justin Osano now, 185 on the bar. Bench press, third attempt for our 75-kilo lifter. Justin, so far twisting a gem on our day 2 primetime session. Let's get it,
What
Justin
a
Osano.
call there.
Come on, let's see it. Give it to me. 3
Beautiful.
white lights. My man, Justin Osano, putting a stamp on this one.
Our next 3 lifters do have a chance at going for excellent runs thus far, 6 for 6. Not only that, we've got some wild bench presses coming up. I mean, Anthony Bilal, Matthew Young, well over the 200 kilo mark.
Anas on bar, 187.5 on the bar, 2.5 kilo jump.
And 2.5 kilos, like we said, it is that safe bet. If you get it, great. 2.5 kilos added, that could help you later on for deads. If you miss, you only miss that 2.5 kilos. You could still get it back for deads.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on, Anas. Do we like it? 2 to 1. Give me this. Let's go.
Ooh, a little bit of a shimmy.
Give me a shimmy shake. Come on now. A little shoulder roll and Anas on bar. Give me that. 190 on the bar here for Peter Huang. Peter Huang, again, having a true amazing year so far and looking to continue it. I mean, we mentioned Anas, Justin, everyone else who's twisting a gem so far. Peter as well, also twisting a gem here. 190 on the bar here for his 3rd attempt.
We'll shake your unrack there.
Don't matter. Let me see it.
I was going to say, that doesn't always mean anything.
Don't matter. 3 white lights, Peter Huang. Keep it going, young man. 6 for 6 for our expected champ so far. He is truly trying to win this one and put everyone else out of reach. Anthony Bilal now an even 200 on the bar. 200 kilo, 440 in freedom units. My man. And interesting to see some of these lifters opting to use their belt as well on bench press.
Yes, it is common. You know, a lot of lifters do. It helps the brace, it helps the arch.
I feel
Other
like the
lifters
meta has kind of caught on a bit this past year.
I agree, especially with the lighter lifters.
Yeah. Let's see it here, Anthony. 3rd attempt bench press, 200 keys. Anthony Bilal.
His all day, every day.
Brother, talk to me nice. 3 white lights. He's seeing stars a little bit. I love that. Let's go.
Oh, I told you, ladies and gentlemen, I was right. That's the only time I'll be right. Let's say that.
Let's see it. Let's see it. My man, my colleague Nick, he says he likes big round numbers, and this is one of them. 217 on the bar. Matt Young trying to close it out. Matt Young, as advertised, massive bench press. We saw that 2nd attempt. We said something between 5 and 7.5. Well, guess what?
It's there.
217.5 on the bar.
American record attempt for the single lift bench press.
My goodness. I got my fingers crossed right here, Nick.
I know. I'm hoping.
Let's see.
And I'm confident in Matthew Young. 479 pounds.
Oh, man. And you know what? Nick is off the chest. I was like, let's go. We got it. Like, man. I just stood. I was about to stand. I was like, Matt Young. But, man, I tell you, sometimes it's just, once it gets to that sticking point, it feels like it just can't go anywhere at that point.
Oh, man.
Still a great attempt, and I fully believe that my man is absolutely going to send it this week after he gets back home. I want to see.
Absolutely.
We're going
3
Matt,
days.
Please send us the 220 that you're going to try this week. I love it. Now, let's recap some of the action that we just saw on bench press here. Nick, who stood out to you immediately?
I loved the battle on the ladies' side. Cassie Carlton, Janae Kovacs, going back and forth there. Janae inching ever closer to that. But then we've got Christiane Hazard, May Angeli Sagal. It's super, super close on that end. Christiane Hazard able to come away with 120, but May Angeli able to go 3 for 3 on her attempts.
Sophia Fortin as well, and not to be outdone because she does have a big deadlift as well.
Yes.
Cass Carlton, Madison Lewis from our general session also in the subtotal up here, and Sierra Adams. So Janae Kovacs just outside looking in, but again, this is just after the subtotal. This is squat and bench press. So
the story of the meet is being written. Let's look at our 75s. Justin Osano, Anas Anbar, Peter Huang. As we expected, it was going to be some iteration of that. Now, the missing context here is the big deadlifts that are going to happen. So the story of the meet, as we always say, is being written. Anthony Bilal is leading the charge on the 82s, and now Matt Young, Sean Sullivan from the general session. We have some incredible action still coming our way on deadlifts. And as we always say, the meet doesn't start till the bar hits the floor. But before we get to that point, let's cut it to Casey on the floor with Sophia Fortin.
I'm Casey, live with Sophia, 60 kg junior.
Yes.
And she's competing against some of the top 60 kgs. Tell me kind of what's going through your head today.
It's just really awesome to be here, as a junior especially. At first it was a little intimidating coming into this meet, but I'm really proud of myself, working myself through prep to be in this position as a junior.
Yeah. And this is also your first Raw Nats. Are you having fun with it?
Yeah, I'm having fun with it. I've done collegiate nationals before, so it's kind of the same vibe, but just a lot bigger.
Yeah, of course. Well, we appreciate your time. We're going to let you get warmed up for deadlifts, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to the commentators with Nick and Lee.
Thanks so much there, Casey and Sophia. So that actually wraps all of our action on the bench press. We're going to be moving on to deadlift now, Nick. Very excited to see what we're going to do on deadlift. Come back and see us here in 10 minutes. We're moving on to deadlift here at USA Powerlifting Prime Time. And we are back here, folks, at 2024 USA Powerlifting Primetime. Leo Bonendar here, joined by my colleague Nick Stevens. Nick, saw some great action here building the subtotals, but now we're on to the deadlift, man. The bar is about to hit the floor. Who do you got your eyes on here?
Well, the party has started, folks. Like you said, the real tale of the meet starts to unfold here, and we start to see some of those chapters finish up where, I mean, we're going to see some insane deadlifts today. Nicole Marinin, I mean, just look at that opening pull, 205 kilos. I mean, not to be outdone, we've got Vanessa Robbins coming right behind, Evie Yambez. We've got some insane pulls from our ladies. And then on the men's side, I mean, Eric Lapointe, Jaden Lowe, we're going to see some big numbers from our lifters.
I want to bury the lead. I don't want to say the numbers just yet, but folks, you are going to see some crazy openers here. Jen Thompson here opening us up at 165. The GOAT. All right, see the call. 3 white lights. Jen Thompson, Masters 2 competitor, by the way. You have to lead that because she is not a young pup just like the rest of our open lifters. She's out here representing for Masters 2.
Coming up next here, Miss Christiane Hazard.
Oh, snappy deadlift. Let's see the call. 3 white lights. Now, Christiane is going to be earlier in the flight. We kind of alluded to this earlier on the stream, is she's going to be towards the end of your squat and bench press flights, but on deadlift, she's going to give up a little bit of kilos there compared to her competition.
And now it is possible we do see those larger jumps there from Christiane. She has a decent amount there, like you said, on that subtotal from squat and bench. That opener looked super light there for Christiane, so we might see some big jumps in the future.
It would make sense. Steve Denovi trying to play a little bit of 4D chess with us. Here comes Colleen Donahue, 172.5 on the bar for Colleen. Okay, Colleen, see the call on this one. 3 white lights for Colleen. Coached by the great Kyle Miller, by the way. I see that. Sneak by there, my man. A lot of love for my boy Kyle Miller. Great coach in his own right.
The Sophia Fortin coming up next, and we can expect some crazy intensity here. Let's look.
Now, if it's like any of her other lifts, they're going to move fast.
Look, not even 10 seconds finished on the clock. The deadlift is done, and she's back off the platform.
177.5. And again, there's 2 sides to that, isn't there, Nick?
Yes.
We saw when it also can work against you, and that bench press seemed like that setup was a bit rushed because of it. And unfortunately, she was on the wrong side of it. Hopefully, that's not the case here on deadlift.
Right.
You know, while on deadlift, it is good to kind of come out there with a little bit of fire, a little bit of fight, but it's important across squat, bench, and deadlift. It's all positioning.
Absolutely. You have to maintain that intention.
You have to every single time be able to repeat it every single time, remove any variables, and get into the same position you need to every single time. May Angelisa Giel, 185, kind of rushing out there because she needs 25 seconds to get that down command. Trying to get set up. Seems like she was in a bit of a rush back there. With time to spare, let's see the call. 3 white lights. Now,
and that's what we want to see for an opener there, very fast.
Yeah, now, it looked like they were kind of caught by surprise a bit there, Nick. Maybe they didn't hear that the session was starting, or maybe they didn't realize like how quickly it was moving. That can happen.
Could also be lifter was in the bathroom.
Fun fact.
Maybe a little
bio
bit of
breaks
baby
happen.
powder.
Yeah, bio breaks happen. We're all humans, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Here comes Cass Carlton, the reigning 2-time champ, looking to defend her crown here. 185 on the bar in the middle of the flight. Again, that doesn't imply too much of anything. Usually you don't read too much into openers, I find, is some people will take bigger jumps, some people will take smaller jumps. The story of the meet, to me, really starts to come into that second deadlift territory.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's kind of the statement there. You see, okay, these are my openers.
Where did they jump to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what's she doing? What's he doing? Cass lifts. See the call on that one. She had 6 seconds to hit that one. 3 white lights.
Pristine execution on that one as well.
Now here comes our colleague Solana Lewis. Solana putting together 175, 102, and now she is opening at 185.
Deadlift, she had mentioned, was going well in prep, so hopefully she can kind of continue that momentum here.
407 pounds, Solana Lewis.
Let's see it, Solana. Oh, out of position a little bit. She's giggling. So she's giggling a little. I think she knows exactly what happened there. It was just slightly out of position. Let's see that replay. She hinges, and then just ever so slightly, the bar kind of got out of place when she was trying to.
It looked like
extend
right
the
as she
hips.
was exactly
Yeah.
right as she was going to straighten those knees.
Bar
right
took off
there.
on her a little bit. Yeah.
And that's what
even
we see with sumo. The timing matters so
that-
much more with
big
sumo.
time. Big time. And now here comes Carmen, who's actually a conventional puller. Very snappy. Now for Carmen, let's see the call on that one. 3 white lights. Now for Carmen, I have seen once in a while, she's got big quads, if you didn't notice, and sometimes that actually can work against her. Those quads can actually run into the bar and get caught. So that's why you have to make sure that that white substance there, that baby powder on her quads, is well applied. Make sure it just slides up into place. But the odd thing about being a conventional puller and having big quads is your knees start to flex and your quads start to flex, and then they get bigger and then they get caught. So it's kind of tough. Here comes Janae Kovacs opening at 190.
Only 5 kilos up on opener there from Cassie Carlton. And I wonder if she didn't jump that down command.
Yeah. Tough, man. So, I mean, that can happen, Nick. We've seen it before. We've seen it in years past, actually. Some other lifters, Dan Clements, I recall last year, was he actually mentioned that he pulled, well, of course, we called it.
Yep.
Was sure enough, he just pulled a little bit too hard and got out of position. I would be shocked. She has to go up.
Oh, she has to go up at least 10 kilos.
Yeah.
At the least.
At minimum, right? That's just, that happens.
There, 20, excuse me. She put in 210 for her next attempt.
Come on now. Let's do it. Evie Yambez, 192.5 on the bar. Sorry, deadlift opener. Love the Wonder Woman.
I was going to say, so far the best socks of the game.
Easily the best socks in the meet. Easily the best socks at Primetime so far.
A Wonder Woman herself, Evie Yambez, good lift.
Come now. Let's go. Now, Vanessa Robinson, 192. She's hit 210 just in March. So she could try to break the record set by Natalie Richards, like the 215 mark.
That would be massive. That'd be absolutely massive. But there is one more lifter to come behind who might have an answer for that as well.
Stop.
So
we have another one?
We might have to hold our breath.
There's
just
a poll after
here.
this?
Oh, yes.
192.
And there's going to be plenty of polls after this, especially for Vanessa Robinson. What a finish.
Goodness, 3 white lights there for Vanessa Robinson. And we talked about it before. Nikki Breadlifts, Nicole Marinin, 212 deadlift on her. She is a contender for the American record. And if you're looking at her training before, 212 is not the limit. 212 is not the limit.
It's not, and I would not be surprised if we see a 220 possibly.
I would think somewhere in the neighborhood of 215 to 220, depending on how it moves. It all depends on her coach, Brad Couliard.
Sumo stance as well, rocking the Avancis deadlift slippers, another one of our primary sponsors for Raw Nationals.
For the deadlift. Oh my! See the call on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna call 220 for the third attempt. I'm calling it right now.
I like it. I like it.
I'm calling it.
I like it, and especially for a coach like Brad Couliard. I mean, here's a guy, coach of coaches. You know what I mean? Like, just the pedigree on him. One of the best who'd ever do it. Truly, just excellence. Excellence. Here comes Christiane Hazard. $177.5, nails that one here. And Nick, we talk about the story being written. It's happening right here on second attempt deadlifts. We're going to crown 2 national champions here in this flight, and then 3 in the next flight. National championships are on the line here, Nick. Colleen Donahue, 182.5, deadlift second attempt.
And like you said, second attempt there is the question. The third attempts are going to be the answer.
Yeah.
And for the people watching at home, follow along here at liftingcast.com. See some of these attempt changes that are going to come for these national championship titles. Some of these bluffs. Oh, tough. So Colleen looks like when she was setting up, pulling the slack out and then wedging into position, wasn't sure if that first one was almost like a false wedge into a real one.
I was going to say it looked like a little bit of kind of a stutter there, a little bit of a hiccup in the setup.
Yeah. And that's tough there. Here comes Jen Thompson.
Big jump there, 20 kilos.
And that's why we said is sometimes the opener doesn't always tell you the story. Now that first one didn't move great, so I'm actually kind of shocked to see 20 kilo jump here. But let's see it here, Jen.
And this is a pull that's going to put her well into the top 10 in the open division.
The GOAT. See the call on that one. 3 white lights. I'm waiting to see the bar speed on that one. I'm curious if we have it now. If not, a little bit slower than I think some people would expect for a second, but let's move right on to Sophia Forden, because again, if you blink, you miss it. 187, moving quickly for Sophia Forden.
My gosh, currently sitting in fourth.
The minute you see her name on the overlay, she's going to lift it.
With plenty of time to spare.
You know what? You know what? Actually, here's my tinfoil hat theory with earlier with Manjali is because Sophia goes so fast and she follows her, she wasn't ready.
That is very possible there, because when you do finish your attempt that early, the clock stops.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole 50. That's almost a minute, which in powerlifting time, that's decades.
Yeah, it is. Manjali Sagil, 195. Snappy pull there. And she was ready for this one. She had time on the clock. 3 white lights. She says, you're not going to get me this time.
Your national champion looking for a repeat there, May and Jelly.
That's right. And sometimes that can happen, Nick, is sometimes the lifters in front of you are moving a little bit quicker than you thought. You got to adjust. Cass Carlton here looking to win her 3rd in a row, going for a 3-peat national championship, jumping to 195 for her 2nd attempt.
Currently sitting in 1st place at the moment.
As expected.
Again, rocking the fresh new A7 meat kit.
Very clean.
Across the board.
Pulls, yeah, clean pulls, clean meat kit. Let's go. Cass Carlton, 3 white lights. Now here comes
pretty at the top spot for now.
For sure. Now here comes Solana Lewis. Now Solana out of position a little bit on that opener. Opting to still go up and go with the plan of 195.
And now if she is coached by one of the deadlift gods, David Wilson, there's got to be a plan, a method to the madness here.
Of course there is. Let's
Clearly.
go. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. Hey. Shocker. Shocker, right? Yeah, she was like, yep, I've done this before.
What opener?
Yeah, right. What
opener?
opener? Yeah, exactly. She looks at Dave. Dave is like, see, I know this. You know this. I do this. Great job there. Carmen Hu, now, she's only missed 5 attempts ever leading into this.
She's missed 4 thus far.
Which is crazy.
Not the best day here for Carmen, who with this pull will put her into the top 10 very easily, decidedly so.
195 there. 10 kilo jump. And again, sometimes it's just not your day, Nick, right? You just never know. It could have been the other day, it could have been tomorrow. It's like, it's just sometimes it's just today was the meet day, right? Now here we go. Evie Yambez, 202.5. On the bar, 2nd attempt. 10 kilo jump here for Evie. All right, the Wonder Woman. Oh, she likes a little bit of finger guns there action. 3 white lights.
Evie Yambez getting some fire back after that tough squat run.
Yeah.
3 for 3 on bench, 2 for 2 on pulls thus far.
Yeah, she likes it. She likes it. I love that reaction, too. Clip that one off there, team. Love the look on that one. Vanessa Robinson taking that 10 kilo jump to 202.5. Now, Vanessa did have a big pull not long ago, back in March. She had that 217. Let's see if she's going to trend something at least close to it.
Golly, do we have some insane pullers in the 60-kilo class.
Oh, we do. Come on, Vanessa. Let's go. Let's go. Get that extension. Now let's see if we got it. 3 white lights.
I think there's a crack at another 5 kilos, possibly
There
for an
is.
all-out grind.
There is. Now here we go. We still have 2 more lifts to go just in the seconds.
With this lift here, Janae Kovacs did miss that opener 190, electing to go up to 210 kilos. This is going to put her ahead of Cassie.
But that missing context, right? That missing context is it was so fast, she needed this weight to be able to like almost hold her hip extension in place.
That's right.
So
Could
Janae
it be too much?
Right, exactly. So now Janae Kovacs, 20 keys here after missing that opener because, frankly, it was just too light. Let's see if that was truly the case. Janae Kovacs, 210, second attempt. Come on now. Oh, a little up and down, so she's not going to get that. All right, let's see. It has to be up and down, right? Yeah, the blue cards across the board, so.
She has yet to register a deadlift.
All right.
We don't know where that's going to put her.
So
for
there's
the top
pressure
ranks
there. But, folks, now we are turning our attention to Nikki Breadless, Nicole Marinin, based out of the Chicago area. That is a 216 pull. We are not doing a typical 2.5 kilo increment. We are jumping 1 kilo, so you know what that means, Nick.
It's got to be at least an American record. But for Nicole Marinin, it's a world record attempt, ladies and gentlemen. 400.
Got to clean that bar.
76 pounds.
Wow.
216 kilos.
She's ready.
Just
She's ready.
chipping that record by 1 kilo.
She's ready. Let's see it. Nicole Marinin, integrated strength athlete. G&D Strength Society in Chicagoland. 216 on the bar. Let's go! Come on!
Oh
Nicole
my
Marinin.
With
The limit
ton
does
to
not
spare.
exist. Let me see the call. 3 white lights. New world record attempt. Successful. Give me 220.
And it looked like
Hold
that?
on. Where's Brad?
It
Where's
looked
Brad?
like that?
I'm texting Brad. We're going 220. Give me 220.
You know what? Dare I say,
Yeah.
220.
No, don't do this to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, you said it. The limit doesn't
Limit does not
exist.
exist. Here we go.
As
Hey,
fast as that moved, but knowing
That's
the
right.
calls there, it's probably going to be the same.
Christiane Hazard. We have national championships on the line. 182.5 on the bar here. Christiane Hazard.
This is going to put her into first place provisionally. She has the crown right now. Christiane
Okay.
Hazard.
In pole position. Let's see. 3 white lights. Okay. Again, pulling for the lead right now. Am I right, Nick?
That is correct. But May Angeli has a monster deadlift loaded up here. 205 kilos.
Where would that put her?
Currently in second place. So we're looking at LiftingCast here. For those of you at home, as we're watching Colleen Donahue on screen here, you are allowed to change your deadlift attempt 3 times. And that takes a lot of gamesmanship, a lot of watching on the LiftingCast here. So we may see some attempt changes here.
Colleen Donahue trying to bounce back after missing that second attempt here on her deadlift. Let's see it, Colleen. That wedge hard. Oh, tough. You know what, though? Colleen had a long, hard road to get back here, and it's just awesome that, honestly, that she is here in prime time, and I guarantee you will be seeing her again here soon.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Certainly. Sophia Fortin, again, breathing fire, 195 on the bar. Let's see it, Sophia.
All you have to do is finish, Sophia, and you do.
See the call. 3 white lights, Sophia Fortin.
Your 60-kilo junior national champion, your bronze medalist in the open 60-kilo division.
Go off, Sophia. Let's go. Now here comes Jen Thompson. She's asking for some juice from the crowd. She needs it here.
already your Masters national champion, or Masters 2 national champion in the 67.5 kilo class.
Trying to build that total even more. 195 on the bar. 10 kilo jump from that 185.
And this is a big pull, folks.
Come on.
Oh, it's moving. Can she find
Move it
the
up.
knockout?
Let's go.
Oh,
Through the
my
hips.
Goodness,
The
ladies
goat.
and gentlemen.
See the call.
The
3
lift is
white
good.
lights. Oh, come on. The GOAT. Jen Thompson.
What else would you expect?
Hall of Famer.
Multi-time national champion, Hall of Famer, math teacher on the side, Jen Thompson.
Meet director, ref, does it all, man. Jen Thompson.
Wow. What a finish there from Jen Thompson.
Moving on now to someone going for that three-peat here, Cass Carlton. 200 keys even on the bar.
Currently putting her in first place at the moment. Janae has yet to answer.
One of our New York State lifters. Cass Carlton coming for that three-peat national championship. Come on. Oh, tough.
Just at the knees there. What does that do for the standings? Let's take a look here.
Nick, talk to me here.
Cassie Carlton still sitting ahead at first place only because, like I said, Janae Kovacs has yet to register a deadlift.
It is.
So we're going to see
This
what
is
happens
tough.
here.
Okay, so now we have to turn our attention here to May Angeli Seguil. In that 60 kilos, she's coming for the dub. Again, Nick, you had alluded to this earlier in the stream.
That's right.
Deadlift advantage is all about just sitting and waiting and then hitting your mark when you have to hit your mark. May Angeli is doing it right here, 205 on the bar. This would give her a 500 kilo total and the win. Another back-to-back national championship. Let's see the call on this one.
All it takes is execution, ladies and gentlemen. Your
Say it again.
60 kilo national champion,
Back-to-back national champion.
May Angeli Seguil.
My goodness.
9 for 9, 500 kilo total,
Queen.
$500 in the pocket. I don't think you could ask for a better trip to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Queen. Let's go. Big stuff there, May Angeli Seguil. Congratulations.
Well
60
deserved.
kilo champ. Carmen Hu trying to battle back. 205. She likes it. Let's see the call then. 3 white lights. All right. Hey, she's happy about it. We're happy
be a good
about
lift
it.
for her. Carmen Hu sitting kind of low, unfortunately had a pretty rough day.
But you know what?
does leave the door open for our colleague, Solana Lewis.
But it's always nice, though, to hit your third deadlift, isn't it? Now here
It
comes
is.
Solana Lewis. Solana battling back here, trying to sneak into that podium position.
He's going to put her into fourth place, ladies and gents.
Oh, into fourth. Okay, all right. Just outside of the podium position. 207, though. This would be a PR attempt. Let's go!
There it is, ladies
There we
and
go,
gentlemen.
207. Great pull there by Solana.
There it is. Solana has the fourth place spot now. Bars loaded. Coming up next there for Miss Vanessa Robinson. Currently slated for the 7th place spot for the 60 kilo class. And not to mention too, folks, the 60 kilo class, 67.5 kilo weight classes are some of the most stacked across all of powerlifting.
Let's see it, Vanessa. Big pull. Oh. Nick, sometimes it's just stuck to the floor.
Listen, sometimes the spotters have that extra super glue in their
I
pocket.
know, man. I
know,
tell you.
It happens.
It happens. Now here comes Janae Kovacs coming for that 210 now.
Now 210, she is electing to repeat that. This will not be the answer to Cassie Carlton. This is going to solidify her in 3rd place should the attempt be successful. Now, I imagine Coach Alex here from Challenge Strength and Conditioning looking to solidify
That's
here.
a lot of pressure here, Nick. She's
Looking
looking
to
to
stay safe.
stay in the meet. Come on, Janae. Hard wedge. She gets this. Let's see
There
the
we
call.
go.
3 white lights. Janae Kovacs not only stays in the meet, but now gets into podium position. I mean, you want to talk about drama, Nick. Wow.
Oh, we're not done yet, folks. Janae Kovacs did pull into provisional 3rd, but Evie Yambez Janae Kovacs pulled into provisional second, but Evie Yambez with this pull, if successful, will pull ahead of Janae. And I don't think any of us picked Evie Yambez to come from behind like this, but like we said, all it takes is execution, folks.
Evie Yambez, 210 on the bar. Oh, no. Like you said, Nick, sometimes
Listen, Gorilla Glue,
I know.
Loctite, you know.
I wanted that checked. Now, 220.5. This would be.
We were both wrong.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. 220.5 going for another record.
486 pounds for Nicole Marinin.
Nicole Marin, I mean, bringing the smoke so far with how quickly everything moved from the opener to the second, breaking the record attempt, getting the acknowledgement there by her coach, Brad Couliard. Nicole Marinin putting her stamp on the game right now. Massive deadlift here for our 60-kilo lifter.
Important to mention, too, folks, with that missed lift by Evie Yambez, Janae Kovacs does remain in that second position. Evie Yambez finishes fourth. Last pull of the day, folks. Nicole Marinin.
220.5. Okay, let's see it.
A little bit of a bobble at lockout here. I think she kept it.
Oh!
I don't think the refs saw the same thing.
Okay, so Brad, I can see Brad is definitely going right to the jury. I'm seeing a blue, I'm seeing a yellow, and I think that I can definitely see what you were talking about on the up and down ever so slightly. Let's see.
And it was right at lockout, too. It was ever so slight. Right there. Just the slightest bit. And it was further emphasized with the hips as well.
Maybe I'm just I'm inserting myself a little bit in that. But I feel like that wasn't enough to call. And I don't think the bar.
I agree.
I don't think the bar went down enough there. But again, let's move on now to our men. Congratulations to our champions there, Cass and May Angeli Seguil. We're gonna award 3 national champions now in this flight. Here comes Albert Lee opening us up on the action. 242. A little bit of that closer stance deadlift on our opener. 242 on the bar for Albert Lee. Interestingly enough, again, you're going to see some different techniques on the deadlift, much like you see on the squat and bench press too, but on the deadlift, it's always interesting to see how people kind of set their stance when it comes to, obviously, sumo is big, but there's degrees of sumo. There's like sumo, and then there's like kind of that hybrid that you saw there from Albert. And then you can delve into the hook grips, the mixed grips, right? Stuff like that.
The Jeffersons, the double overs, you know, all the fun stuff.
Oh, always, yeah, of course. 252.5 here. Deadlift opener for Matt Young. Very quick, snappy off the floor there for Matthew Young. Now, interestingly enough, you know, he actually should be dinged here. Want to know why?
How's that?
He didn't have socks on.
Oh, excellent catch, Leo.
Yeah.
What a catch.
So that was a miss by our technical controllers and every single cat referee on the platform. Sue me. Anyways, Luke McCain, 265 on the bar.
Sips the Earl Grey just a little bit. Luke McCain.
Deadlift opener, 265.
And you are looking at the screen here on LiftingCast, folks, correctly. This is a world record attempt. But I don't know if it's going to go. Again, that bobble at the top.
Yep.
2-1.
2-1. That's right.
And you're going to see that, especially with sumo. You know, it's a lot.
Something about Matt Holden 67-kilo lifters and opening deadlifts, Nick. Where have I seen this story before? We were on the other side of the country, my man. What are we doing here?
I don't listen. It feels a little bit like deja vu, but hey,
we're in nicer suits this time. Anas Anbar opening up here, 267.5. Former national champ Anas Anbar, 75-kilo lifter. Anas, always one of our more entertaining lifters across the board, squat, bench, and deadlift. Based out of Texas.
Kind of has a little bit of an uphill battle here, especially with deads. Currently sitting 6th on forecasted total here. So he's going to have a little bit of ground to make up here, but these are just the openers.
These are just the openers.
And judging by that.
Yeah, right. Let's see this one. 3 white lights. Now, we mentioned earlier is these openers, sometimes you really don't know because some of these guys and girls, they put some crazy attempts where it's just like some people just jump 5, 7, 10, and you'll see some cats jump 30, right? So it's interesting when we watch the attempt selection as it starts to bear out on seconds. And I'm already kind of seeing it trickling in on LiftingCast.com, LiftingCast.com/USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals Day 2. Follow along. Justin Osano, 272.5 deadlift opener for Mr. Justin Osano.
Very even 600-pound deadlift there for Neil. Or Justin, excuse me.
A little bit of that closer grip there. Oh, wow. Justin. Expected that. Now let's see the call. 3 white lights for Justin.
Wow.
And really awesome overlay. You guys can kind of see that bar speed there on the graphics. Justin has a little bit of that closer grip a little bit. Also the double overhand hook grip, but almost on the smooth
I was going to say,
not on the knurling as much.
Hook grip on the smooth. You want to talk about just the pinnacle of suffering in training?
My man. No easy way out. I love it. Here comes Mark Frezzell. Yep.
Very clean opener there.
And we expected that out of Mark. Let's see the call. 3 white lights now. For Mark, we had mentioned it's not just about kind of having clean lifts, it's having repeatable lifts.
Exactly.
His lifts always kind of look generally the same. They move generally the same. So it's one of those things for him. Whenever you get to see him at these meets, it's 1 through 3. They all move fairly similarly. Now here comes Anthony Bilal, the subtotal king. Now opening here at 290. Again, that doesn't inherently mean where he's going to end up. This is just where he's opening. So far, he's been training incredibly well.
£639. Anthony Bilal currently sitting pretty in that top spot on forecasted total.
Anthony Bilal, snappy pull there. Let's see the call.
Look at the numbers here. 300 kilo squat, 200 kilo bench. I wonder if we'll see. I don't think we'll see a 400 kilo deadlift, but a boy can dream.
I was going to say, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put it by that guy. All right. Looks like Mr. Olympia out there. Now here comes Peter Huang. Peter Huang, again, we had kind of expected for it to be the guy that everybody else is chasing, and so far, that is the case. Again, also kind of pulling on the smooth here. See the call on this one. 3 white lights there for our Jersey lifter.
We're going to see pretty close to a 700-pound deadlift out of our boy.
I think so, and that's probably honestly what it's going to take, Nick. Seth Suzuki, our junior lifter, opening at 305 kilos.
If you're in the gym, that's about 7. 7 plates on the bar here. And it's...
My goodness. 305 kilos? Opening? 82?
I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm not, because look who he's coached by. Carrington Amati, one of the biggest deadlifters in all of USAPL.
Of course.
It runs in the family.
My man, Seth Suzuki. 3 white lights there for Seth. Getting handled by his coach Carrington as well. And if you can believe it, we're still going. Still 300-kilo deadlifts.
We've still got 2 more lifters left, folks. Coming up right now, Mr. Eric Lapointe. And we were saying Eric Lapointe did have a little bit of a battle coming back here in the 75 class, but with this 305 pull, he's looking to make that statement.
It's just great to see Eric back out here, man, and to see Eric training and competing healthy. Because when he's training and competing healthy, he truly is one of the best 75s, if not the best 75 in USA Powerlifting.
Oh my gosh, Eric Lapointe.
Come on now. Built for it. See the call. 3 white lights.
So let's see it here. Jaden Lowe, 310 kilos for his opener.
And I don't know if anybody can pick up Gino's wonderful voice coming through the microphone here, but
He likes
this is a world record opening attempt for Jaden Lowe.
Come on now. This young man, the equipped national champ, equipped collegiate national champ. Oh, no.
Hook grip.
Hold up. I was about to say, I was like,
And-
okay, no, okay. He got the
What a
switch up on us.
setup that
okay,
was.
okay, but
He
that was
had-
dope. Okay, but that was dope, though. Okay, that was dope. I like that.
He had me in the first half.
Yeah, I mean,
not
the first time,
gonna
I'm not going to lie. Yep. Brother, come on. Talk to me nice. Oh, he likes it. Let's see the call. 3 white lights. He did have. First of all, I thought my man was about to set up and do a double overhand hook grip, conventional pull, and hits us both with a mixed grip sumo snappy. Brother, come on now. I love that.
The switch up is crazy, but I'm here for it. Jaden Lowe, I mean, a little bit of a battle to get back into the top runnings here, but he wins on style points.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
$252.5 kilos up next for Albert Lee.
252. And again, a little bit more of that hybrid stance, Nick, with that hook grip.
Colloquially known as Froggy.
Froggy, yeah.
It does lend itself to a little bit more of a squat type movement,
Yes.
rather than the
bit.
hinge you
3
get
white
from a
lights.
conventional.
That's true. That's true. And again, at the end of the day, it really kind of just comes down to, hey, would you rather sacrifice speed off the floor, or would you rather have some more speed off the floor, and then understand that inherently there is going to be a little bit of the slow up at that lockout.
Yep.
So, and again, sometimes it just kind of comes down to your morphology. Here comes Matt Young, 272.5, 20 kilo jump here for Matt Young.
With this pull, he's going to pull all the way from 12th into provisional 5th.
My man.
What a jump in the standings that is. Matt Young.
All right, let's see the call on that one. 3 white lights there for Matt Young. Now, I want to see the replay on this. Takes the slack out there, wedges in hard. That moved like I think a second would, but I don't think you're going to see that big of a jump for his third.
I don't think so. 252 to 272, that's 20 kilos, decently sizable. I imagine.
I think I'm going to go 5.
I was going to say
277.
between 5 to 7.5. Yeah.
Now, Luke McCain, you had us in the first half. Let's see what happens here. Just needs a little bit of weight.
Currently
If
sitting
history
at
shows us anything with any of Matt's lifters, Luke McCain.
Yeah.
Oh. Where have I seen this before? Let's see the call. 3 white lights. You know what? If that holds true, he could load up anything and I'll believe it on the third.
He really, really
And I will
could.
not doubt him this time. I'll tell you that much. Shout out to the homie. So here comes now Anas Anbar. Anas, 285 second attempt for our boy Anas Anbar, friend of the stream. Now Anas making sure to get his bearings, and I think for him too is he's well traveled. He knows, look man, I have a full minute.
Yes.
I know whatever it takes, I need to get centered. I need to get in my position.
He
I just
easily
need
has
to
one of
repeat
the
everything.
exactly, and
Yeah.
I was gonna say he easily has one of the most just relaxed setups
Yeah.
I've seen. You can and further lending to the individuality of the lifters and their different approaches going to the bar.
Taking that slack out, wedging hard.
Beautiful.
See the call. 3 white lights for our boy Anas Anbar.
Currently sitting in second place, but on forecasted totals, we've still got a little bit to go.
Very, very clean lift there for Anas. Now let's see Justin Osano. 292.5 on the bar here for Justin.
We're starting to see that battle unfold just a little bit here. Justin currently sitting in 4th, will pull into 2nd here. Still looking to get behind Peter Wang and just surpass
Peter's
for
got to
that
be feeling
supremacy.
that pressure, man. I mean, we've
He
been
really
talking
does.
about high pressure attempts, high pressure attempt selection. This is when it matters. It's Raw Nationals. It's primetime session. This is when it matters. You have to hit these lifts.
And
Let's
these
see it,
aren't
Justin.
small weights, folks. This is 644
This
pounds.
is massive. Let's see it, Justin. Okay. I like it. Let's see the call. 3 white lights there for Justin. He says, Peter,
And that
your
was
move.
That was a 20-kilo jump.
Yep.
And he
Yep.
does have his 1 minute to put that next attempt in. And unfortunately, Peter Wang is just a little bit too far ahead for him to wait to see how that second attempt goes. So we're taking a peek at the lifting cast here. He just put in 307.5.
Wow. Okay, we're starting to see it come together now, Nick. Mark Frezzell, 297.5. Oh, I'm curious. Let's see
There's
the
one
call.
thing I want to see there.
Yeah. Yep, we saw the same thing. Didn't lock it out, and that is a red card infraction. And I saw blue. Not sure what the blue was. But
I
the
was
red
giving
card
blue for the knees.
Okay, so I was giving red because that is technically
Or red, that's
red
right,
is
that's
the
right.
knee. Red is the knees and the hips. So and sometimes shoulders. So in that case, that was what I actually saw there. So that'll be interesting to see what he does on the next one. It's been kind of a rough day for Mark. Here comes Anthony Bilal, 312 on the bar. Now, Anthony probably not going to reach that mark of Russell Orhe, that 838, but still twisting a gem together. I mean, he has had a phenomenal day. 312 on the bar here. But this would actually break Jaden Lowe's record that he actually just set.
It's going to be a
In
battle
first
of the
attempt.
world records between Anthony and Jaden Lowe here.
I mean, Jaden really snappy, like super snappy. He's going to have more in the tank.
This right here is going to allow Anthony to maintain first place.
All right, let's see. Let's see it. Now,
2 to 1.
sure enough,
Good lift.
What did you see there, Nick?
I was looking at the shoulders there. Let's look at this rear view here. It looks like
Great
the
call.
shoulders were
Yeah.
just
Rounding.
quite
Yeah.
rounded
Yep.
enough to give that
And
call.
you know what? That's something sometimes you can get away with, but not at Nationals. You got to make sure to have those shoulders back. Here
Absolutely
comes
right.
Peter Wang, 317.5. Where is he right now projected, Nick?
Currently in second with this pull will put him ahead of Justin Osano.
Now again, where we're expecting him to be. Peter Wang, a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now to stay in the lead. Very snappy pull. Let's see the call. 3 white lights there for Peter. He says, your move, Justin.
And now we are at that point now where we can
Yep.
see some attempt changes here.
And again, pulling on the smooth, not on the knurling so much. Man of culture, Peter Wang. He's doing it. He's putting it together. Now here comes Eric Lapointe. Pizza blow, 320 on the bar.
And now the 75s are so stacked, folk, that 705 pounds on the bar for Eric Lapointe is only going to sit him in 4th place here. I wonder if we're going to see a nutty pull for the third attempt to get him on that
Let's see,
podium.
Eric. Let's see it, Eric. 320.
Wow.
Gets those shoulders back. Let's see the call. Give me
That's
that.
a good lift, ladies and
3
gentlemen.
white lights. Eric Lapointe. Healthy Eric Lapointe.
And
He
now
can't
what
hurt you, but yes, he can.
Oh, gosh. Healthy Eric Lapointe is a force to be reckoned with, folks. And what we saw there a little bit, we did see kind of that same bobble at the top there, but that was more so at the shoulders. The referees are looking at that bar. Referees looking at that middle surface
right.
of the bar there to see if that goes downward in motion.
That's right. Now we're moving on to Seth Dasuki. 325 on the bar. This is a second attempt. Nick, this isn't even the last pull of the flight.
It isn't. And as wild as this is a 716-pound pull. This is going to only put him into the 4th place spot for the 82.5-kilo class. And now he's a junior lifter, folks. Seth Dasuki, a junior lifter.
And he's built for this pull, man.
Let's go, Seth. Come on, Seth.
Wow.
Locking those knees out hard. Let me see this one. 3 white lights, Seth Dasuki, our junior lifter, putting on a clinic.
And knowing his coach, Carrington Amati, he's going to want to put something in there to pull for the podium.
And I know this is going to sound nuts, but if you can believe it, Jaden Lowe is looking to destroy that deadlift record once again, and not just by a little, by a ton. 327.5 deadlift, second attempt for Jaden Lowe.
For those of us on this side of the Atlantic, that's 722 pounds.
Brother.
For the product of Blue Mountain Christian College. Go Toppers.
Go Toppers. Come on now. Jaden Lowe.
Hitting us with the switch up again. See, he even caught me then. I thought he was going to do conventional.
I see you, dog. I see you. Let's see you, Jaden.
And clearly that's what it takes for a world record pull, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let's see it. 2 white lights, all we needed there. So there was a blue. It looked like the call was downward motion. It looked like the bar got caught, though.
Right at the knees there.
A little bit. And you know what? That's 50-50 and up, but guess what? In powerlifting, all you need is 2.
2 to 1 matters.
If that was a battle going on there for any sort of spot, one of the other lifters could challenge.
That's absolutely right. Now, Leo, we've reached the pinnacle. We've reached the end. This is
National
when the party
championships
starts.
are on the line, Nick.
Third attempt pulls. The party has started. The music is up. The audience is booming. It is going to be an insane show to finish out our Day 2 Raw Nationals primetime coverage.
260 on the bar here for Albert Lee.
This will put him into provisional first.
Come on, Albert. Looks good here. Let's see the call. 3 white lights. Great job there for Albert. A good day, 8 for 9.
And we're at third attempts, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to see some attempt changes, and I believe we've seen our first one. Matthew Young just changed his third attempt, so now he is going to be pulling after Luke McCain, only going up 277.5 kilos.
Seeing
so
some
this
bluffs
clock
here.
is going to run here.
I was going to say.
They're probably most likely going to reset this clock here for Luke McCain because Matthew Young is not the current lifter. He changed his attempt.
That's right. And you are going to see some of these bluffs here, Nick. As a coach, you have done this before whenever it comes to having some of your lifters trying to sneak in behind or in front of somebody else. And this is some of that high-level coaching stuff. It's that chess game that you play at the end of the meet where you're trying to be like, hey, I don't think you're actually going to pull this.
Exactly.
Or like, hey, yeah, no, keep it on there. Go for it, right?
Exactly, and that's where the gamesmanship of powerlifting really comes into play. And that's when, kind of like I was alluding to at the very beginning of the stream here, you kind of want to take a peek at where everyone else is in the warm-up room, how they're warming up, and not only how their performance on the platform is, but how they're recovering from that performance. If it was a mislift, how are they coming back from that? If they're going great so far, how are they going to maintain that momentum?
No, that's a good point. Is looking at some of the other lifters in the warm-up room too is kind of seems like, hey man, I've watched your training. I know kind of what you're going to do. I know what your top end is, and I might even know some of the people on your close friends that may have been dropping some things that I've seen you do already. So there's the ops are out there.
That's right.
Now Luke McCain.
There we go. Yeah, bar is loaded now. We've got the clock reset. Just finalizing things. Here we go.
277.5 for this young man. This would not be a PR attempt for Luke McCain, but this would solidify him as our champ.
611 pounds. Going to pull into first place. Luke McCain.
Luke McCain, provisionally.
Ladies and gentlemen,
for
Luke
the lead.
McCain. No, not just for the lead.
That is
your
the
national
win.
Champion.
That's right. Just want to
McCain,
make
your
always want to
national
make
champion.
sure. Luke McCain, the young man, 18 years old, 67.5 kilo national champion.
Obviously, a lot there still to learn, but I was going to say a lot there left to learn. His openers were his only missed attempts there. Obviously some experience to go along with that, but we can expect a bright future in powerlifting for Luke McCain.
For sure. Here comes Albert Lee. Now looking to stay in third place if he hits this successfully. 260 kilos on the bar there. Again, we have national championships on the line with these final attempts here for day 2 primetime session.
And that was, and so we do have a little bit of a delay with LiftingCast.
Yeah.
That was actually Matt Young there.
Oh, apologies, yes,
so
Matt Young.
Matthew Young obviously misses that attempt there. Currently, your 6th place in in the men's 67.5 kilo
now
class.
Moving on to Anas
82,
Anbar. Our boy Anas Anbar here, now trying to set himself up provisionally for the 2nd place in the 75s. Now, the context here missing is the 75s are still happening, so this is, we have to say provisionally or pulling for 2nd place currently because there are still lifters left to go. But as of now, if he hits this, this would put him in 2nd place.
Absolutely, and he's right up there in that battle with the 75s with Peter Wang, Eric Lapointe. It's going to come down to the very, very final buzzer, ladies and gentlemen. Anas Anbar. Solid jumps across the board, 267 to 285. Now we're at 297.5, 655 pounds.
Let's go, Anas. Let me see this one. His handler liked it. Let's see. 3 white lights. Give me that. He's going to launch that thing.
Place.
I was going to say he's going to launch that belt. It's going somewhere way deep into the nether reaches of the warmer. I think it just flew right by us here. Yeah. Yep. I think it just I hit a small child. Now here comes Mark Frezzell. Mark Frezzell trying to kind of come back within that top 10 spot. 297 pull. Trying to retake that missed 2nd. Again, Mark probably not having the day that he wanted here, but again, that's powerlifting. Sometimes you're not going to have the day that you expected. You can still try to salvage it, retaking, or possibly even scrapping it. I know we had mentioned that before, Nick, is sometimes, you know what, actually, I can see Mark from here, so yeah, they're scrapping this one. Nick, sometimes that is, one, a courtesy to your fellow lifters, is being able to kind of just let that clock run. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can scrap it and then it goes right to the next lifter, or you can kind of give them that courtesy and just like, hey, give them a breather, give them a chance to kind of catch their breath too, and it's nice for your fellow lifters. So right after him, it is going to be a battle now for our champions. So Nick, who are you looking at following this?
We've got Mr. Justin Osano. He's going to be going for a 660-pound pull, followed by Mr. Anthony Bilal looking to solidify the 82.5 kilo class. But right after that, we've still got a battle in the 75s, Peter Wang, Eric Lapointe. And then right after that, Jaden Lowe looking to add just a little bit more to his world record deadlift.
My man, you got to be kidding me.
It is going to be action-packed all the way to the end, folks. Justin Osano pulling into 2nd place, provisional 2nd place at the moment. Currently sitting in 3rd in the 75 kilo class.
Let me see it here, Justin. 300 keys on the bar. Deadlift 3rd attempt for Justin Osano.
For the pull into provisional silver. 660 pounds.
Hard wedge. Gets caught a little bit. Oh. Nick, that can happen on occasion. You can get stuck. Let's see where it looks like.
So from there, it does look like Justin Osano is going to maintain. So he's currently still in the 3rd place, but with the rest of the 75 still to come in the lineup, it looks like he is going to be knocked further down that line.
That is going to be tough. So this is an interesting scenario here for Anthony Bilal, Nick, is he's going to currently pull for the lead, but then has to sit and do the waiting game and see if that's going to be enough. 320, if that's enough to hold it off and maintain that dub.
And that's a long time to wait.
It is.
And that's a lot of pressure. 7.5 kilos, though, up from his 2nd attempt. And based off of how his 2nd attempt looked, it was beautiful. Plenty of room left in the tank there.
No, Anthony definitely brought some heat for day 2 prime time. Let's see it, Anthony. 320 on the bar, deadlift, third attempt. Waiting to get that down command. Oh.
He finds lockout, but I don't think it was full.
Let's see it. I don't know if he got that one.
It's going to be a no lift there. It looked like it was at the knees and the shoulders as well there.
It was knee. Yeah, no, that's a no lift. You can see those knees unlocked, unfortunately. He'll bounce back. Anthony Blau, I'm actually going to be very excited to see him in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially next year as well. Now, we're moving on to Peter Huang. We talked about Peter Huang in the beginning. We talked about it in the preview. He was the favorite going in. He's had a tremendous year this year in 2024. Rising Tide champ, Open World Cup champ, pro card holder, coming in to try to win Raw Nationals in the 75s with a 325 pull. Peter, let's see it.
Well over 716 pounds for Peter Huang.
Okay, let's see the call here, Nick.
I think it's there, folks. And it is, ladies and gentlemen, 3 white lights. Peter Huang, your 75-kilo provisional national champion.
As of now, your open national champion, Peter Huang.
And it looks like we're going to have a bit of a battle here for second place here between Eric and,
No, Peter Huang.
No, yep, Peter
Huang
Huang, there it is.
your national champion. Congratulations, our 75-kilo lifter.
Yep, Eric
Peter
Lapointe
Huang
pulling into second here.
The year of Peter. Come on now. Unbelievable work. Eric
Unstoppable
Lapointe.
run.
Now, Eric Lapointe, this is a very emotional lift for him. This would tie his PR from 2.5 years ago. Battling back from a very harsh injury. All the way back. 327.5 on the bar to tie his all-time PR.
Unfortunately, not going to be your national champion today, but here, pulling for second place here.
This would mean
like
so
said,
much for him. Come on, Eric.
What a finish, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me see that. 3 white lights. Eric Lapointe. Brad loves it. We love it. Come on now. What a pull. Odyssey Barbell Club, stand up. My goodness, Eric Lapointe. He is so back. Eric Lapointe is so back right now.
He is 100% back. Healthy Eric Lapointe is a dangerous Eric Lapointe, ladies and gentlemen.
My man.
He is real. He will find you. He will put up a 9-for-9 performance.
My man, let's go. All right, now we're on to Jaden Lowe, and that's no issue on LiftingCast. That is a world record attempt at 332.5. Jaden Lowe just going record. That's all he knows right now. Jaden Lowe, 332.5, 5-kilo jump from his last record. Going for another one here.
This is going to be massive. Mississippi strong here for Jaden Lowe.
Let's see, young man. Deadlift third attempt, rounding out our second to last pull of the day. Oh, just running out of gas there.
Just at the knees there.
Hey, I'm excited to see Jaden in the future. He's going to come
He's
right
a
back.
young lad. He's a young lad.
He'll be right back here. Now we're moving on. Last pull. This is actually for the record, if I'm not mistaken.
It is for the world record.
By 7.5 kilos, once set by a man named Taylor Atwood.
Who?
Never heard of him. 347.5. Wow.
766 big ones.
My man.
And I mean, Seth Dasuki, last pull of the day. Huge. Strength by tones. He's got the deadlift aura around him.
7-kilo jump over the record. I mean, he's looking to absolutely destroy it and put it out of reach. Seth Dasuki trying to cap us off here at the end of day 2, Raw Nationals Primetime 2024. Our junior lifter.
766 pounds for Seth Dasuki, 350 kilos. Your second place finisher in the 82.5 kilo open class.
Tough.
That's
you know
not
what?
going to go, ladies and gentlemen.
All good. Still, you know what? I'm actually happy that he went for it, though.
Oh, you have to.
I'm happy that he went for it because you know what? It's something that he's like, you had to give it a shot. You had to give it the go. Nick.
My God, Leo.
That
wraps day 2. Let's look at our national champions. Let's look at all of our final results here. So Anthony Blal walks away, national champion. Again, we knew that that was probably going to happen, especially missed that last one, but didn't even need to hit it right. Very important to note that all of his total there. Now, our second winner was actually Sion Farley Thompson from the general session. Jaden Lowe sneaking in there on that 3rd spot, taking the 3rd place in the 82s. Peter Huang, man, what a year on Peter Huang. It has been just win after win after win. We kind of saw it coming this way, but what an unbelievable way to cap off his training year.
Absolutely.
Really excited to see what he does in 2025. Eric LaPointe taking right after that, and Justin Osano after him. Cass Carlton now taking the win. 3-peat, say it again, back to back to back to back. Let's go. Janae Kovacs, Madison Lewis from the general session as well. I mean,
wow.
like, guys and girls, we have some killers in that in the daytime too.
Absolutely.
So it's been really incredible to see. Now, on the 60s, May Angelie Seguil, she sure enough set herself aside that 500 even, and we knew with that high dots coming in, she was going to do something special, and she sure did here. Christiane Hazard sneaks in right after her. Sophia Fortin jumping in right after her. And speaking of May Angelie Seguil, Casey is on the floor and catching up with her right now.
Just everyone that supported me on this journey.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your win, and we look forward to seeing you in the future again.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to Lee and Nick at the commentary table. Good. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Casey, and appreciate that. So, folks, that will wrap our day 2 session. Nick, myself, Leo Wanendara, Nick Stevens. Make sure you guys join us tomorrow on the Primetime session. And also, make sure not to miss any of our action. We're going to starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Thanks so much again for joining us here at USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals Day 2 Primetime. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow.